12%. Chapter 61 singled out the Sakura fleet. Kneeling for the first order, full order. In the case of this kind of ship crossbow becoming flooded, Qin Tian must upgrade his fishing boats to warships as soon as possible. Although his fishing boat has 4,200 HP, defense is also good. But it really has to face the simultaneous attack of dozens or hundreds of ship crossbows. It is estimated that the blood volume of his fishing boat can't stand it. So hoarding supplies to upgrade fishing boats has become an imminent thing again. Come to the bow. Move the mythical crossbow to the stern of the ship. No way. Like his previous operation of rushing up with a fishing boat and directly crushing a wave. All the supplies on the opponent's raft were wiped out. Even if it smashes the opponent's raft, still can't get any materials. So want to harvest materials. After all, it still depends on the real method of boat crossbow and cannon. As he manipulated the fishing boat to deviate a little, soon, he saw the small fleet of about 450 rafts 300 meters away on the left. Looking at the other party's dozens of ship crossbows that turned towards him at the same time, Qin Tian secretly said in his heart that it was true. If left in the past, it is not bad to have 3 or 4 ship crossbows in a fleet of this size. However, he is not afraid of these dozen crossbows. Immediately, he used the talent skill must hit to control the mythical raft and began to attack the opponent's dozens of rafts. Damn it, lean over, let's fight back, quickly send a message to Master Carl, and say that we found that Qin Tian from the Yanlong Empire. For a while, crossbow arrows are flying in this sea area. Qin Tian controlled the mythical class ship crossbow to carry out saturation strikes 300 meters away. On the other hand, the ship crossbow of Kangaroo Country can only hit 300 meters. It didn't cause any damage to Qin Tian's fishing boat at all. Every time, they haven't waited for them to approach. Qin Tian's fishing boat has sailed around them to the other side. Although occasionally there are some rafts that can suddenly accelerate to nearby rafts with natural skills. But without exception, these rafts have all become the souls of the arrows of the mythical crossbow. Under the suppression of absolute power, the natural skills they are proud of and rely on for survival seem to no longer be so important at this moment. For a while, the more than 80 rafts in Kangaroo Country were completely reduced to moving targets. More than 30 rafts were sunk within a few minutes. Damn Yanlong people, if you have the ability, you can come within 300 meters of us. If you dare to come close, we promise to beat you so hard that even your mother won't recognize you. Cowards, cowards, fact squid, go to hell, trash from the Yanlong Empire. Such a naval battle without any retaliation. The chosen ones in the Kangaroo Country were so angry that they yelled. And Qin Tian faced this kind of output by roaring verbal attacks. He turned his head and looked at the pile of supplies on the deck. Satisfied, he controlled the fishing boat and rammed directly towards the remaining fleet of the opponent. Since you asked me to go there, then I will fulfill you. Just now he has sunk 4 or 5 rafts equipped with crossbows. Now there are only 10 rafts left in the Kangaroo Kingdom fleet with crossbows. The threat to Qin Tian is almost negligible, seeing that Qin Tian actually manipulated the fishing boat to come closer. The chosen one, who had been suffocating for a long time, was overjoyed. Although 5 ship crossbows were destroyed. But that's okay. They are confident that they still have the power to fight. It's just that when their crossbow arrows attacked Qin Tian's fishing boat. But it was found that not only the iron skin on the opponent's ship could not be pierced. It can only hit single-digit damage values of -9, -9, -7, etc. on the opponent's huge fishing boat. Here, they were immediately dumbfounded. Then follow. The raft fleet of the Kangaroo Country also received the same treatment as the bullfighting country's fleet. Except for the 10 rafts equipped with crossbows, they were not crushed. The rest of the rafts were all plowed. The materials on it were all lost. Nothing was left of them. After Qin Tian turned the propeller and left gracefully, only a piece of chicken feathers remained. The hopeless Kangaroo Kingdom chosen climbed back onto the raft one after another in 2s and 3s. In the end, they gathered together for a total. He also made the same choice as bullfighting country. They want to stay away from this land of right and wrong. But a small half of the team lost the raft. They must take responsibility for those who lost their rafts. At this time, some people in the live broadcast room also saw the intention of Qin Tian's approach. In addition, some people went to the live broadcast room of the god of the bullfighting kingdom and the Kangaroo Kingdom to spy on the enemy. After all the people of Yanlong Empire knew what was going on, they immediately cheered excitedly. Qin Shenyu criticizes, this tactic is too slippery, just wait for the chosen ones of the Eurasian Federation to turn against each other. Qin Shen has thoroughly figured out the enemy's psychology and physiology, and calculated it into it. What's more amazing is that the number of crossbows left by God Qin to them is almost the same. It is conceivable that the fleets of other countries must be like this. In this way, even if two remnants meet, there is a high probability that they will choose to avoid, but will desperately choose to fight to the death. And in fact, that's what happened next. After Qin Tian swept 3 small fleets of less than 100 in a row. The remnant army of the Kangaroo Kingdom and the remnant fleet of the Rose Empire met first. The chosen ones of both sides did not meet and greet each other in a friendly way like the chosen ones of the two countries in the past dynasties. Instead, they confronted each other with great vigilance. After weighing the pros and cons, the two remnants fought together directly. In the studio, when the people of the two countries saw this scene, they immediately scolded their chosen ones for being stupid. Then cursing became the two countries scolding each other. The strong smell of gunpowder has attracted countless people of the Yanlong Empire. That's why they are all willing to watch in Qin Tian's live broadcast room. Isn't this more attractive and exciting than the old iron 666 inches propaganda in other live broadcast rooms? Under the watchful eyes of millions of people in the live broadcast room. This evenly matched naval battle finally ended with the god chosen of the Rose Kingdom annihilating more than 40 opponents and losing nearly 20 of them. This made many people in the Kangaroo country in the live broadcast room couldn't help crying. Although the people of the Rose Empire are not feeling well. But at any rate, the survivors of their country have a raft in their hands. They still have hope. Watching his god chosen after cleaning the battlefield. He took all the supplies he could take away and left this land of right and wrong in desperation. Their hearts were also full of frustration. How ambitious and rhetoric 0.8 was when he came in. How embarrassed they are now. Watching countless Yanlong people rejoice in the chat area. They could only silently exit the Qin Tian live broadcast room collectively. Then he went back to the live broadcast room of his chosen one to vent his anger. And World of Warships, Qin Tian sighed. After consuming a lot of wood again to restore the blood volume of the fishing boat to full. He set his sights on the fleet of more than 100 people on the flat map. In my memory, it seems that the little devils of the Sakura Empire also gathered a fleet of less than 100 people and came to his area. However, it does not rule out the possibility that the other party has absorbed new members on the way. And there is actually a fishing boat in the opponent's fleet of more than 100 people. So Qin Tian directly controlled the fishing boat to head towards the direction of the opponent's fleet with full of expectation. Not long. From a distance, he saw a raft fleet of all black-haired and black-eyed selectors. 12%. Chapter 62 The Sakura Empire needs an explanation. Seeking first order, full order. Look at the people with black hair and black eyes. I just don't know if this is the fleet of the Great Cold Empire or the fleet of the Sakura Empire. But soon, Qin Tian knew it, as his fishing boat approached. The other side's area quickly yelled, Baga, Abunai, Shinai, and other beautiful little devils. Oh, I really found you. Listen to the other party's loud shouts. There was a cold smile on the corner of Qin Tian's mouth. Then he controlled the fishing boat and began to observe in a circle 300 meters away from the opponent. The little devil's fishing boat sits in the center, obviously the flagship of the command. Rafts with crossbows are scattered around the fishing boat in a circle. Next to each raft equipped with a crossbow or several rafts to confuse and protect. Have to say, there is indeed something about the attainments of the little devil who started his career in the Navy. As Qin Tian's huge fishing boat circled around their fleet continuously. These little devils only felt that the surrounding atmosphere was getting more and more oppressive. The spirit of the whole body is tense to the extreme. At this time, the news that Qin Tian swept 5 fleets in a row at sea has already spread. 11 On the opposite side, the Sakura Devil immediately entered a state of combat readiness after seeing his fishing boat appear. Especially the only fishing boat in the middle suddenly lit up with a reddish light. Then center on that fishing boat. All of the more than 100 rafts around were lit up with a light red halo. Tut tut. Unexpectedly, he is still a god's chosen with group gain talent. Seeing that this moment enveloped a few miles of surrounding hundreds of rafts. Qin Tian guessed that the opponent's buff talent was at least A level. I just don't know which aspect of this talent is enhanced. If I can keep this little devil here today, it is estimated that those cherry blossom ghosts in this world will be hurt severely. Think about it this way. Qin Tian's eyes suddenly became cold. Then he decisively launched an attack without hesitation. The god of Qin is mighty. Damn these little devils. If this little devil's fleet is destroyed again, God Qin will really become a god, sweeping the fleets of the 6 countries with his own strength in 1 year. This is just the novice sea territory. Destroying some of their chosen ones will only shake the foundation a little bit. I expect Qin Shen to directly sweep the top fleets of their countries in the future when he comes out of the novice sea territory. That will be the real fatality. There will be such a day, believe in God Qin. With Qin Tian taking the lead and setting off a war. Immediately, Little Devil Sakura's fleet also quickly moved towards Qin Tian's fishing boat. The speed is obviously much faster than the rafts of other countries. Does this buff increase speed? Thoughts flashed through my mind. Qin Tian calmly manipulated the thrusters to adjust the direction slightly. Continue to distance yourself from each other. His innate skill, must hit, has always aimed at the opponent's rafts equipped with crossbows. It took less than 2 minutes. He directly sank the opponent's 8 rafts equipped with crossbows. See this situation. The other party's flagship fishing boat was obviously in a hurry. Although it is said in the chat channel that Qin Tian has a boat crossbow with a long range and high attack power. But now you can really feel the powerlessness of being aggrieved. But Qin Tian looked anxiously at the other party. Looking at the rafts in the group of rafts, there are only 12 or 13 rafts with crossbows left. He immediately lost the idea of playing with the other party. On the top of his head that was about to rise to the middle, he felt that he was about to be roasted. So he also controlled the fishing boat and headed directly towards the opponent. This sudden operation was obviously beyond the expectations of those little devils. This Yanlong man, who only knows how to play tricks, even manipulated the fishing boat and came directly towards them. Could it be that courtesy is light and affection is heavy, sending people's heads away from thousands of miles away? The little devil, who had been holding back his stomach for a long time, suddenly became very excited. They cheered up one after another. Shouting, "Yi Kai," and "Yi Kai," they followed their flagship boss and rushed towards Qin Tian. Especially after seeing Qin Tian's fishing boat directly within their range. Even more excited eyes are shining. Attack! Attack! The little devils with the boat crossbows controlled the boat crossbows and shot out the arrows shouting. It was only after they saw the pitiful -13, -15, -11 and other damage values floating out of the Qin Tian fishing boat. Their shouts suddenly faltered. What? Impossible. How come there are so few? Baga, it's fake, it must be fake. Some little devils opened their eyes wide in disbelief. Difficult to accept reality. At this time, the little devil's flagship fishing boat suddenly turned its bow and turned sideways. I saw 4 God-chosen people rushing out of the cabin on the other side's ship. Then he pushed away a few small piles of rags on the deck. The 4 ship crossbows lined up below were exposed. Qin Tian saw this. An undisguised sarcasm flashed across his face. The preparation work is quite sufficient. It's a pity that before absolute power, all schemes are rubbish. Then Qin Tian took control of the fishing boat. It just ran into the middle of the opponent's fishing boat without any dodge or deceleration. Idiot. See this posture. Those little devils on the fishing boat were immediately scared to pee. What does the chosen one of the Yanlong Empire want to do? Are you crazy? Although you are a large fishing boat, you are not afraid of injuring 1,000 enemies and 800 yourself if you collide with it like this. Immediately afterwards, everyone heard a loud click. Then those little devils saw a big opening in the middle of their proud flagship fishing boat, and it was pushed out laterally. And the one of Qin Tian. But only a large area was dented in the iron sheet of the front hull. It has no effect at all. A huge fishing boat is like a sharp sword. Unstoppable rushed directly into their group of rafts. As if entering no one's land, he raged to his heart's content. Ah no. Damn Yanlong people. Long live the God Emperor 993, long live the Sakura Empire. Kill him and avenge us. Mom, I want to go home. Naizi, I'm sorry, I'm going to disappoint you. The sudden change came too suddenly. Just when all the chosen ones of the Sakura kingdom thought that Qin Tian would also turn the ship around to fight their flagship in a classic crossbow battle. Who would have thought that Qin Tian would come forward in such an unreasonable and brutal way? Then behind the fishing boat, the little devil who didn't make any preparations went straight to tragedy. Get bumped. Grinded. Originally, Qin Tian had no intention of letting these little devils go. So he manipulated the fishing boat to crush back and forth in this area. While manipulating the mythical crossbow, he kept shooting at the fishing boat. After a few minutes, when Qin Tian drove the fishing boat away, there was no longer any raft in the sea area where he was just now. Only a large group of corpses floating on the sea surface remained. Ba Ga Ya Lu, is Qin Tian a devil? Why is he so cruel? In the studio, all the cherry blossom devils who witnessed this tragic massacre felt extremely angry in their hearts. Bakayaro, there is our Sakura Empire's most talented god chosen, Yanlong Empire, you must give our Sakura Empire an explanation. An explanation? What an explanation? Why didn't you think of giving us an explanation when you followed the Lighthouse Empire to sneak attack on our 3 islands of Yanlong? 12%. Chapter 63 Torch Synthesis Skill Book. Ask for an explanation in the face of the little devil. The hot-tempered big brother Yanlong couldn't bear it any longer. Hee hee, you little devils, this is just an interest. Seeing that I, Qin God, is the kind of person who does not forget the national humiliation and likes to fight tooth for tooth and blood for blood, you foreign devils just wait to be washed by my god Qin. Ha ha. This wave is really cool to watch. In the past, I only admired the cold and fierce bosses among the gods of our Yanlong Empire. Now I think we can add another god of Qin. Haha, to tell the truth, the Lengli boss is indeed a gangster. Ever since the guarded Tianji Island was taken by the lighthouse, the Lengli boss has been squatting around the islands of the lighthouse every day, and seems to be sneaking around last week. A destroyer that sank the lighthouse. What is a destroyer? The Lengli boss is a battlecruiser, plus its own S-level talent Jedi counterattack, plus damage avoidance, acceleration and dodge. When Qin Shen grows up, I feel that just these two a jagged god of war can recover our Tianji Island. Agreed, I look forward to fighting side by side with God Qin. World of Warships. After killing all the chosen ones of the Sakura Devils, Qin Tian no longer manages those fleets of other countries. Fighting against the scorching sun for a whole morning in this extremely hot weather. He felt like he was going to suffer from heat stroke. He chose a direction with no fleet blocking the road within 30 nautical miles. After Qin Tian set up the thrusters, he plunged into the cabin. Once in the cabin, feel the cold air, he just felt refreshed all over his body. The dizzy head also became clear. Phew, I've come back to life, and it's still comfortable to stay in this cabin. Those foreign devils are just looking for trouble, and they insist on fighting and killing. Don't you know that I, Qin Tian, am the most peace-loving anti-war element? A sentimental sentence almost made those foreign devils in the live broadcast room vomit blood. Yeah, you love peace. Or you anti-war. All morning, I saw that you were the happiest to kill. It's just that these complaints in the live broadcast room are invisible to Qin Tian. At this moment, he took out a piece of bread and a bottle of water and sat on the bed to eat. While eating, he also opened the trading interface. Check how your 200 bottles of ice water are selling. Everything is fine in the trading market. The only point is once something hits the shelves. Can't sell out in a short time. Then it can only be hung up until the end of a week before it will be automatically removed from the shelves. How much will be sold at that time? Resources will also be given to the god chosen together with the items that are automatically removed from the shelves. Looking at so far, a total of more than 70 bottles have been sold. Qin Tian couldn't help shaking his head helplessly. It seems that it really can only hang up until the end of a week. After watching his ice water, he opened the trading market to scan the goods. This morning, he used the boat crossbow to kill at least 300 gods chosen. Although the resources that can be harvested each time are pitiful. But little adds up. He now has 1 or 2,000 more units of several resources in his hand. Don't say it. After looking around, he really found a good thing. Torch Synthesis Skill Book. Isn't that just the kind of good stuff you need for a polar night? Check out the exchange requirements. 5 bottles of water. Fine, not too outrageous. It is estimated that this person is completely useless in such hot weather. It will be thrown directly into the trading market for trading. Qin Tian didn't hesitate. Pay directly for 5 bottles of water and get the skill book in hand. Then walked back again, after discovering that there is nothing good. He can only open the chat interface boringly to watch the screen to relieve boredom. In World of Warships, it's the only form of entertainment right now. Open the chat channel. I found that it was full of content about his sweep of the 6 fleets this time. Especially that guy Carl. Lived in it at him several times. Send a coordinate for him to lead the death. But what Qin Tian didn't know was, Carl is actually depressed to death right now. The reason why the upsurge of hunting Qin Tian was set off this time was mainly caused by his reward. Originally, he was a little complacent. He secretly sighed that his charisma was against the sky. As a result, after a detailed understanding of the situation, he found out that all the fleets that went to hunt Qin Tian were all thinking of taking the treasures on Qin Tian's ship all by themselves. There is no one who is really willing to listen to his orders and help him with affairs sincerely. This made Carl very unhappy. Fortunately, Qin Tian was strong enough to not be wiped out by these miscellaneous fish. Otherwise he would have to go crazy. But in this way, Carl's jealousy and fear towards Qin Tian became even more severe. That's why he tried every means to lure Qin Tian to die. Today, he has assembled more than 500 gods chosen. There are as many as 60 crossbows in the fleet. He has confidence. As long as Qin Tian dares to come, he has the ability to completely leave the other party behind. It's just that Qin Tian is not stupid. Knowing the flood of crossbow blueprints, how could he be provoked by the opponent? Let the other party be arrogant for a while. After he upgrades his fishing boat to a warship, he will naturally go to the tower-destroying fleet represented by the opponent to settle a wave. Qin Tian silently closed the chat channel. Just staring at the sea outside, I became dazed. As the fishing boat sailed away from this area, Qin Tian never encountered the fleets of the chosen ones from other countries. The sea is vast and boundless. As long as there are no exact coordinates, trying to find someone on the sea is tantamount to finding a needle in a haystack. Evening. Qin Tian received a private letter from Li Yangming. This guy was sleeping during the day, completely unaware that such an exciting thing happened in one morning. After learning from Nangongla that Qin Tian alone destroyed the fleet of 6 foreign devils including the Sakura devils, his admiration for Qin Tian has simply reached its peak. Next 3 days, everything became extremely peaceful. Qin Tian is still continuing his great business of selling water. Although the foreign devils of the Eurasian Federation were hung up by him and given a blast obtained by him. But life has to go on. You should eat or you have to eat. Should drink or have to drink. Qin Tian's water is still the best seller in the Novice Sea area. Carl led some of the Eurasian Federation's chosen ones to call for a boycott of Qin Tian's slogans, one wave after another. But it's obvious. It's useless. After all, the high temperature in extremely hot weather is too severe. Not drinking water means that the state will decline. If the state declines, it is easy to harvest poorly. And if the harvest is not good, there is no material to buy food and water. So caught in a vicious circle. Often it only takes about 2 days. It can make a healthy god's chosen completely incapacitated. Can only fall on the raft and wait to die. Compared with life and death. What use are those so-called slogans? So just 3 days of work. Qin Tian has already hoarded more than 1/3 of the materials for upgrading fishing boats. 13%. Chapter 64 The polar night weather arrives. Kneeling for the first order, full order. On this evening, at the climax of the month, the time came to 12 midnight. All the chosen ones stopped what they were doing. They stood outside quietly looking at the night sky, wondering what kind of extreme weather is coming next. However, except after the heat wave suddenly subsided a lot, everything seemed peaceful. There was no rainstorm, no hail, no biting cold either, as if nothing happened. This abnormal scene left all the chosen ones puzzled. If they couldn't figure it out, they simply stopped thinking about it. By the moonlight, they began to search and salvage wooden barrels all over the sea. Only as time goes by, they soon discovered that visibility was gradually decreasing. Arrived later, the moon disappears. It has become pitch black all around. Stretch out your hand, but you can't see your fingers. Under such circumstances, how could they not understand what kind of extreme weather they encountered? Polar night. One without daylight. The extreme weather that can only see things by moonlight in the dark. Don't look at the lukewarm 790 in this climate. It seems that there is no big problem except for the poor vision. But in fact, the danger of this extreme night climate is no less than that of an extremely hot climate. Not to mention that the difficulty of seeing things in the dark will have a serious impact on the search for supplies by God's chosen. The unimaginable loneliness and loneliness alone are enough to make many people with weak mental endurance lonely and crazy. Not to mention those sea beasts that have been living on the bottom of the sea and are afraid of light. Because there is no deterrence of sunlight, these big guys occasionally run to the sea to get some fresh air and enjoy the breeze. Then, on a whim, I ate a few fresh gods chosen for the tooth sacrifice. This is an incomparable disaster for gods chosen with a low ship level. This moment, many of the chosen ones just feel that their heads are getting bigger. Now they don't have to face the scorching heat anymore. But always beware of all kinds of marine life jumping out of the sea. In this situation, the higher the level, the thicker the blood volume, and the stronger the armed force, the safer the ship becomes. This moment, they all thought of the terrible Yanlong Empire's chosen one at the same time. The other party's large BBEF fishing boat is simply an outlier among fishing boats. With his own strength, he destroyed the 100-man fleet of the god chosen from the 6 nations one after another in one morning. This has never been done by any god chosen person in the novice sea of all ages. Not to mention the novice period when their ship crossbows began to flood. Trying to do this is simply impossible. This shows how terrifying the opponent's fishing boat's blood volume and combat effectiveness are. And in this polar night weather, the opponent's fishing boat will 100% survive this wave of difficulties unharmed. Just this moment, the Qin Tian they envied was sleeping soundly on his plastic bed covered with a quilt. I don't know how long I fell asleep. When Qin Tian woke up in a daze, it turned out that it was still dark outside. Hit a ha-ha. He was about to sink his head back into sleep. Suddenly, the private message, "Diddy," sounded in my mind. Qin Tian frowned. Then with a thought, he opened the panel. I saw that Li Yangming and Nangongla both sent him messages. Boss, the extreme weather in the 3rd week turned out to be polar night. Do you have any better plans for the future? Boss, do you have any tools for lighting? I'm a little afraid of being invisible. Qin Tian looked at the messages sent by these two people. After blinking, he reacted. Gone. No wonder it's so dark outside. He actually forgot about the situation of the polar night. Get up and lie down to the porthole to see the situation outside. It was pitch black indeed. You can't even see the waves on the sea. He first sent a message to Nangongla to inform the other party. Said that he had a torch, and gave it to her in daily trading. Then he opened Li Mingyang's private chat interface and replied. What good plan can I have? I am also having a headache now, but I can synthesize torches here, and I will make some deals for you and Nangongla in a while. Hey, why is it a polar night climate? I just upgraded the raft to a large size yesterday, and I also built a boat canopy. This is going to be a polar night. Wouldn't my boat canopy be completely useless? I saw this message sent by the other party. Qin Tian smiled. Okay, let's be content, even if we don't need it during this polar night. Maybe next week will be rainstorm, extreme cold or something, a boat canopy can help us avoid it. Makes sense. Chatted casually with each other for a few more words. Qin Tian immediately closed the private message. Get up and open the hatch and go out. Although it is already the polar night without daylight. But the heat outside still hasn't completely receded. The sea breeze blows. The scorching air wave made Qin Tian feel a little thirsty involuntarily. He came to the side of the boat. Looking at the dark and dead deep sea. It feels like there are countless pairs of scarlet and bloodthirsty eyes slowly opening below. Ready to rush to the surface at any moment, jump on his boat and tear a piece of flesh from him. Ancient man eating flying fish. This is the 3rd day of extreme night weather horror disaster. Hundreds of thousands, millions of piranhas fly low above the sea. Attacks and bites any living creature that dares to make a sound. Even a little bit of blood dripping on the raft will attract them to attack wildly. Qin Tian once suspected this kind of ancient piranha flying fish unique to World of Warships. Could it be that the will of the world forcibly added the genes of the piranha and thunder dragon fish to the flying fish, and then created a hybrid? Less than 100,000 god-chosen survived the extremely hot climate in the previous life. After experiencing this wave of bloodthirsty flying fish disasters, nearly half of the staff was cut directly. The reason why Qin Tian was able to avoid this wave of disasters in his last life was safe and sound. It's all because of his luck. In the first 3 days of the polar night, enough food and water for him to eat and drink for a week were prescribed. Then he discovered that piranhas are only extremely sensitive to sound and blood. He lay on the raft for a week without daring to make a sound. At that time, she also heard people talking about it in the chat channel. These piranhas are very afraid of fire. And their meat is extremely tender and firm. Eating more can increase your physical fitness. When the severe cold weather comes next week, the price of one of these fish was once fired to the price of 350 units of wood materials or 150 units of metal sheet materials. And in this life, Qin Tian has grasped such a big advantage from the very beginning. And there is a refrigerator to keep fresh. He can't wait to meet these terrifying flying fish again. This time, he must catch more of these flying fish. I will never spend this week in vain like in my previous life. 13%. Chapter 65 The torch business that was cut in half. Gathered the scattered thoughts. Qin Tian first came to the front deck and moved the stove that he had neglected for a week to the front of the cabin. In the past few days, he has put in a few pieces of high-quality wood and directly suppressed the flames of the stove to the minimum. Make sure that the flame in the stove does not catch fire. Now the extremely hot weather is about to pass. In the afternoon, the temperature in the Novice Sea area will drop back to normal. So it's time to bring back this legendary stove. Moreover, next, to make a torch, you also need the flame inside to ignite it. Open the stove seal halfway. Within seconds, the wooden board, which had only a little orange flame, immediately ignited a raging fire inside. Lift off the top furnace cover. The flickering flames illuminated the deck within a few meters around the cabin, bright. After doing this, Qin Tian just returned to the cabin, took out the torch synthesis skill book he bought from the trading market 3 days ago, and chose to use it. Congratulations to the captain for successfully learning the torch synthesis skill book. After receiving the prompt from the will of the planet, Qin Tian immediately opened the synthesis panel. Look at the column where you found the torch. Every consumption of 5 units of low-quality wood, 1 unit of rags, and 1 unit of flax can produce 1 torch. Qin Tian changed the 0 on the panel to 30 without hesitation. As the materials on the board disappear, soon, torches that hadn't been ignited appeared before his feet. Qin Tian picked up 2 sticks and put them into the stove first to ignite the fire. Immediately, they added 2 unlit torches each, and traded the 6 torches to Nangongla and Ji Yangming. These 2 are now his little brothers. You have to take care of it a little bit. In the thousands of thanks to the 2. Qin Tian then put all the remaining 24 torches into the stove and lit them. Insert 4 of them around the cabin for lighting. With a thought, she put the remaining 20 sticks into the trading market for sale. 5 torches, each for 20 units of inferior wood. 5 torches, each for 20 units of inferior plastic. 10 torches, each of which can be exchanged for 10 units of inferior metal pieces. It didn't take a minute to hang up. 20 torches were sold out in a swish swish. Okay, is it so hot? Qin Tian extracted all 100 units of inferior wood, 100 units of inferior plastic, and 100 units of inferior metal sheet. Then he opened the chat channel curiously. Damn it, I didn't get the last torch. What torch? What are you talking about upstairs? The Qin Tian from the Yanlong Empire put 20 torches on the shelves just now, but I didn't get them. Torch, where is it? This black lamp is blind. If there is no point of light, I will go crazy. Indeed, I can't see my fingers. It's so dark that I can't even sleep. I always feel that there is a pair of eyes watching me in the dark. Fake. Don't talk about it upstairs. I don't even dare to row a raft after what you said. Zhang Xia at Qin Tian. Boss, please put up some more torches, I'm so short of them. Jun Xianji at Qin Tian. Hello, I sold this torch synthesis skill book of yours 3 days ago. There is a record in the transaction background. You can check it. I feel that my ability book 5 bottles of water sold a little bit. Sorry, I want you to compensate me with 10 bottles of ice water and 30 torches. Qin Tian looked at the sudden remarks from behind. Almost didn't laugh outright. Is this person stupid? This kind of words can be said. The name is very cold at first glance. Really, use him to make a sound. Someone below started to help him. Zhang Sheng at Jun Xianji. Hey, I really laughed so hard, are people in Dayan so funny? Buying and leaving, this is something that children understand, but you, an adult, don't understand. More importantly, the weather was extremely hot 3 days ago. How much material could be exchanged for 5 bottles of water at that time? For that Jun Shenji's words, Qin Tian was just watching a joke, and he didn't even bother to talk to him. If everyone who is missed can ask the buyer for compensation afterwards. What else do people miss? Just put the good things in front of the boss and say, you are a good baby bump, and that's enough. But at this moment, he saw Carl at everyone's message in the chat channel again. Carl at everyone. Isn't it just a little bit darker? Bear with it, or if you come to me with wooden boards, I can use the stove to ignite the wooden boards for you, and it can still be used by all the people of the Eurasian Federation. If you don't, I hope this Yanlong man will continue to be strong, so it is best not to buy his torch. Immediately afterwards, he sent it twice in a row. Say the important thing 3 times. See these words from Carl. Qin Tian just curled his lips in disdain. In this polar night climate you keep the house from lighting. Ask for flowers. Is that possible? Wooden boards were also ignited for lighting. Not to mention that the fire that ignites the wooden board is not protected by the rules of the world, and it is easy to extinguish when it is blown by the wind. It's deceptive just because it doesn't take long to ignite. It is estimated that a unit of wood will be burned in 3 to 5 minutes. At least a dozen or 20 units of wood boards are needed for 1 hour of lighting. Lighting costs 200 or 300 units of wood a day. The cost is simply huge. Look at the lighting time of the torch. 5 hours a stick. Not comparable at all. Shaking his head, he despised Carl in his heart. Qin Tian immediately took out all his lumber and started to make it. 4,000 units of low-quality wood, 800 units of low-quality rags, and 800 units of low-quality flax to make 800 torches. Oh, one torch sells 20 units of common materials and 10 units of metal materials. Make 800 of them yourself. That's about. There are tens of thousands of units of supplies. Upgrading ships should be a short distance away. Time to do it again. Hiss. Then I hope to upgrade the ship today. This polar night climate coupled with torches. It is simply the best cornucopia set meal bestowed by God. To be honest, at this moment, he really wanted to thank that Jun Shenji. Good man. Just when Qin Tian was devoting himself to making torches, the messages from Li Yangming and Nangongla were sent at the same time. Boss, it's not good, your business has been photographed. Boss, go and have a look, the other party is in a price war with you. Question mark. Qin Tian saw a black face full of question marks. WTF, who steals business from you? And fight a price war. He subconsciously opened the trading market to take a look. As soon as he opened it, the expression on his face became ugly. 8 torches, each for 15 units of inferior wood. 15 torches, each of which can be exchanged for low-quality flax for $1 per unit worker. 20 torches, each of which can be exchanged for 8 units of inferior metal pieces. Someone actually got torch synthesis skill book. And the listed price is a bit lower than him. Qin Tian looked at the other party's name. Pol Payton. I don't know which country it is from. But Qin Tian knew. His torch money-making plan has not yet begun. Harvesting is tantamount to being cut in half. 13%. Chapter 66 Carl plays tricks again. In the last life, it seems that I have never heard of such a person selling torches. Qin Tian wondered. So, is this another stumbling block created by my own butterfly effect? Gone. At this moment, he couldn't help but swear. Look at the type of material exchanged by the other party. It should be ready to upgrade from a raft to a fishing boat. It seems that I have to speed up the progress. This issue is because Carl is targeting himself and speeding up the formation of the fleet. Many resources have been brought together. This comes in less than the 3rd week. Many God-chosen rafts have been upgraded to fishing boats. Much faster and much more than the previous life. I also don't know that the only ultimate mission in Novice Sea area can be claimed by multiple people and then compete at the end. Only the first God-chosen who upgrades a raft into a ship in the Novice Sea area can claim it. But no matter which one, Qin Tian didn't even dare to gamble. He is bound to get the orange quality dual-mounted naval gun. 667. Seeing that 800 torches have been made, a cold light flashed in Qin Tian's eyes. Xiao Mian still dared to fight a price war with him. He has the supplies of selling 100 or 200 bottles of drinking water every day as startup funds. What does the other party use to fight a price war with him? Qin Tian turned cold and put all 800 torches on the shelves. 300 torches, each for 10 units of inferior wood. 200 torches, each for 10 units of inferior plastic. 300 torches, each of which can be exchanged for 5 units of inferior metal pieces. It's a big deal to go back and forth several times by myself. He didn't believe that the other party dared to continue to lower the price. In the chat channel, many of the chosen ones saw that Qin Tian's torch business was actually taken over by others. For a while, the interest also increased greatly. One after another at Boer Jia Dun. Let him lower the price further. Anyway, as long as these two can get it together. The ultimate beneficiaries are always them. Damn. Fuck. Damn yellow-skinned monkey. You have so many resources, what's wrong with asking me to sell torches at a low price for a few days? On a certain large raft in Novice Sea area. A middle-aged man with brown hair and white skin cursed and threw away the torch in his hand. Then wait for him to see those remarks in the chat channel. The whole person was even more mad with anger. Damn it, you greedy vampires, if I had known earlier, I wouldn't have lowered the price. Pole lost his voice angrily. Dee. And at this moment, suddenly, a private message notification sounded in his mind. He hurriedly opened it to have a look. He found out that it was his friend Eugene. Hey, brother, you are about to get rich, go and agree to Master Carl's friend request. Developed, don't forget me brother, you are my recommendation to Master Carl. Monk Jonger was puzzled when he saw this message. He opened the friend application interface with some curiosity. Sure enough, I saw Carl Lauder's name. Intuition told him. It's 100% no good for the other party to add him as a friend at this time. But he didn't dare to offend the young master of the Lauder family. The only option is to agree. Master Carl, do you have any orders for me? He sent a humble message and asked. Boar, the timing of your torch is very good. I want you to tell me the truth, how much is the cost of making the torch? See this message. Paul felt a thump in his heart. The bad premonition in my heart became stronger and stronger. But he still replied honestly. Master Carl, to make a torch requires 5 units of low-quality wood, 1 unit of rags, and 1 unit of flax. Distant seas. Seeing the cost, Carl couldn't help scolding Qin Tian for being a profiteer. This is almost a 200% profit. To be honest, he was so jealous when he saw it. But he also knew that he couldn't intervene. So just destroy it. He texted Pole directly. Very well, I want you to sell the torches at the cost price. No matter what, it will ruin the business of Qin Tian selling torches. Well done, I will take you to join the fleet of our lot family when the novice period is over. As soon as I saw this message, Ball was so angry that he almost had a myocardial infarction on the spot. So what exactly is he selling the torches for? If you don't earn any resources, you have to spend your own manpower, material resources, financial resources and time. Generate electricity for love. It's really fark. Don't worry, you won't pay for it out of your own pocket. I will trade you 1,000 torches. Every time Qin Tian puts torches on it, you will also put them up and sell them at cost price. Just when he was about to collapse, Carl sent another message. Then he received 5,000 units of wood, 1,000 units of rags, and 1,000 units of linen from the other party. Although he doesn't need to pay for it himself. But Boar was still full of resentment. He sells torches to upgrade his raft into a fishing boat. Watching Qin Tian bid, he even had the dream of upgrading the raft to a large fishing boat or even a ship this week. But what is this called now? Unselfish, altruism, or cheap tools? You know it's a polar night. Sea beasts may come out of the seabed to wreak havoc at any time. With his large raft, he didn't feel much security at all. Damn Eugene. At this moment, he hated this friend to the core. But he dared not disobey Carl's order. I can only feel aggrieved and start making torches. And right around the time he was chatting with Carl, the other chosen ones in World of Warships saw him not moving for a long time. He thought he had given up competing with Qin Tian. So they started snapping up the torches that Qin Tian sold at a reduced price. Just a few minutes of effort. Qin Tian's 800 torches have already been sold out. Looking at the 3,000 units of low-quality wood, 2,000 units of low-quality plastic, and 1,500 units of low-quality metal sheets that I extracted. The corners of Qin Tian's mouth turned up slightly. Although the profit is not so much. But as long as you come to it a few times, it will be there after all. Gululu. Just when Qin Tian was going to continue rubbing torches to sell for money, suddenly, there was a loud sound of hunger in his stomach. No sun to see, no watch. Qin Tian didn't know what time it was. However, I feel that the temperature has not completely dropped. He guessed that it was probably almost noon. Put down what you are doing. Qin Tian returned to the cabin immediately. He took out 2 slices of premium shark meat from the refrigerator and put them on the stove for grilling. Been eating bread for almost a week. The bird was indeed about to fade out of his mouth. Feel the delicious and smooth black pepper-flavored grilled fish in your mouth. Qin Tian closed his eyes and enjoyed it, while opening the trading market to view. 0.9 It turned out that Bull still didn't put a torch on the shelf. This can't help but aroused Qin Tian's vigilance a little bit. Under normal circumstances, mastering such a tool that can make a lot of money, how can ordinary people give up so easily? Even without price competition, it is also profitable to compete fairly at the same price. But now the other party is inexplicably silent. This made Qin Tian have to think more. Was it attacked by a sea beast? I still plan to lower the price directly when I put on the torch again. Then temporarily lock up your supplies in the trading market. Qin Tian didn't know, but he, who has experienced survival in the previous life, understands the importance of keeping an eye on it. So eat and drink enough. He didn't do much this time when he was about to put the torches on the shelf. Just made 50 torches. It was put on the shelves at the price of exchanging each torch for 5 units of inferior metal pieces. He wanted to see what the other party was up to. 13%. Chapter 67. The orange is ripe. Then he just put it on the shelves here. Next second, suddenly, there were 1,000 more torches in the trading market. And what made Qin Tian dumbfounded was the selling price of the 1,000 torches was completely cost price. This is Fang Temo an idiot? Qin Tian narrowed his eyes as he looked at the price of the other party. But he soon noticed something unreasonable inside. Wrong. Where did the chosen one who didn't even go up the fishing boat get the resources to make so many torches? 1,000 torches cost 5,000 units of wood alone. And under normal circumstances, which seller sells things without making money? It's Carl. Qin Tian immediately had a guess in his heart. Only that guy can force Boar to give up the chance to make a lot of money. Let's snipe him with 1,000 damage. Fortunately, he kept an eye on it. Otherwise, he would really have been bullied by the other party. And 5 units of wood, 1 unit of rags, and 1 unit of flax appear as soon as the torch appears. Immediately caused a shock, was the minister. Seeing that the 1,000 torches that I rubbed out for nearly half an hour were snatched up in less than a minute. Sitting on his large Raft 11, Ball was even more weeping. From this we can see quite well the next week. Such a consumable torch will be a bestseller. But all of this has nothing to do with him. He was powerless to resist. Really going to do that? Then his parents, wife and children in this world might be found dead in his own home tomorrow. He was really hated and aggrieved at this moment. Alves at Boer jaw done. Brother, add more torches, your price is too close to the people. That's right, whoever buys the torches of the Yanlong people at this price, hurry up and make them, I'll order 10 of them. I also ordered 10 sticks, ordered 2 and threw 1 away, which is too cheap. Look at the messages sent by those foreign devils in the chat channel. Qin Tian just smiled lightly. Then you wait. It is clear. Carl's task for this guy is to wait for him to put up a torch, and the other side will also put up a torch to snipe him. As long as you don't put up the torch, the other party will never act rashly. If you think about it that way, there seems to be no room for manipulation here. Qin Tian returned to the cabin while thinking. The 36 bottles of chilled water that were last kept fresh in the refrigerator were listed on the trading market at the price of 50 units of inferior metal sheet per bottle. Wait for the temperature to drop completely in the afternoon. The ice water is no longer useful, so deal with it quickly. For the past 3 days, he has planned for a rainy day. Trade all water resources for metal pieces. Now he has 7,800 plus units of low-quality metal pieces in his hands. Say nothing else. At least the metal pieces of advanced ships are enough. It's just that the further back the metal sheet is, the more places it is needed. So Qin Tian stocked up as much as he could. And in the chat channel. No matter what people say or how to persuade, Pol just doesn't put on the torches. Everyone had been waiting for almost 2 hours. Seeing that there are still no low-priced torches in the trading market. Many impatient people couldn't wait any longer. Damn it, if you don't make money, is there something wrong with your brain? Forget it, let's buy one from that Yanlong man first. I won't wait any longer, go to sleep, and wait to see what happens at night. Asshole, it is really a waste to leave the torch skill book in your hands. I wish you to be eaten by sea beasts tonight. Ball's indifference caused many people to start yelling at him. After cursing, they turned around and went to Qin Tian's place to spend resources to buy a torch. Where there is the first, there is the second. Soon. All 50 torches hung by Qin Tian were sold out. Extract 250 units of low-quality metal pieces sold. The low-quality metal he owns officially broke through the 8,000 mark. Without any hesitation, he produced another 50 units of torches. Then it was listed at the price of 10 units of low-quality wood per torch. For Qin Tian, there is no need for too much supplies, and there is no need for too little supplies. It is also a considerable income. When Boer saw this situation, he immediately put the 1,000 units of torches on the shelves. This time, even the unresponsive God's chosen knew what Boar was planning. Fake. Boar, although I support you to compete with that Yanlong man, isn't your approach too stupid? If the Yanlong man doesn't put up a torch, are you going to wait all day long? That's right, I really don't know what's going on in this guy's mind. Your price is more than twice as cheap as his. As long as you put it up, someone will buy it. Do you need to play this trick? Callie at Boer jaw done. It's shit, if you delay putting it on the shelves any longer, even if it's a bit more expensive, I'll go directly to that Yanlong Chin Tian to buy the torch. That's right, I've been waiting for you for a long time, but I haven't grabbed 1,000 torches yet. I'm really convinced. After making so much money, you can't buy more. Get 2,000 or 3,000 at a time. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Look at these remarks. Boar really wanted to quit. Not to mention the benefits of the slightest material. In turn, he would have to be scolded by his own people in the Eurasian Federation. What do you think he drew? Does it really take time to make those 1,000 torches? And joining the fleet of the Lot family seemed tempting at first glance. But the premise is that they can survive out of the novice sea smoothly. Now he was really afraid that a few huge tentacles would suddenly appear from the bottom of the raft and pull him into the bottom of the sea. Then it's really all over. Chin Tian naturally didn't know about Boar's tragic situation. At this moment, he is after putting the water on the shelves. Make 18,527 plastic bottles and go out to take the water out of the water purifier. Fill the water purifier with seawater again. He immediately took 9 bottles of water and walked not far away to water the 3 fruit trees. Yes, it is a fruit tree. After 3 days of watering. Now the 3 pots of apples, oranges and cucumbers may ripen at any time. Especially oranges, because there are 2 more times of accelerated growth. At this moment, the 2-meter-high orange tree is growing densely and densely, coupled with the special effect of the 200% extra harvest of the red soil. It is covered with big, round, yellow-orange oranges. Watered the cucumber vines and apple trees separately. When Chin Tian poured 3 bottles of water into the time basin planted with orange trees, I saw a golden light suddenly lit up in the time basin. Then a unique fragrance of oranges permeated Chin Tian's entire nasal cavity in an instant. Even if he had no experience in planting fruit trees in his previous life. At this moment, I also understand that the oranges on this tree are completely ripe. With a smile on his face, Chin Tian wiped his hands on his clothes. Then he picked a palm-sized orange from the tree, peeled it off and ate it. The reddish pulp was tender and juicy, and the sweet taste made Chin Tian couldn't help but took another bite of it. Tasty. This taste is much better than those oranges outside. After eating 3, 5, and 2, he peeled off another one and ate it in his stomach. 13%. Chapter 68. The Crazed Orange. In the studio, watching Chin Tian eat oranges so deliciously. Many people couldn't help swallowing hard. This orange looks delicious. I envy Chin Shen for being able to eat fruit. The last time I ate fruit was half a year ago. I really hope that Chin God will occupy an island as soon as possible, so that when the gods who built the interstellar gate Chin God come in, they can bring these oranges, apples, and cucumbers out for transplanting. Indeed, all vegetation has radiation now, and the fruits and vegetables transplanted from World of Warships are not afraid of these. Isn't it difficult to occupy the island? At least you have to wait for Chin Shen's ship to be upgraded to a cruiser and form a full fleet of your own, right? Believe Chin Shen. According to Chin Shen's momentum, going out of the novice sea area will definitely be able to upgrade the Raft to the ship class, and maybe it will be upgraded to a cruiser in a year. World of Warships. Eat 2 palm-sized oranges. It made Chin Tian burp in satisfaction. This wave is absolutely perfect. There is another village where the willows are dark and the flowers are bright. With this big killer, even if he doesn't rely on torches, he is fully capable of gathering the materials to upgrade the ship within 1 day. He raised his eyes to roughly glance at the number of oranges on the orange tree. There must be more than 200 at least. This made Chin Tian have to lament the power of red soil. The 200% extra harvest effect is really awesome. He picked 30 oranges from the tree. Then opened the trading market and put it directly. 10 units of high-quality oranges, each unit can be exchanged for 400 units of low-quality wood. 10 units of high-quality oranges, each unit can be exchanged for 400 units of low-quality plastic. 10 units of high-quality oranges, each unit can be exchanged for 240 units of inferior metal pieces. My God, it's oranges. Someone actually put oranges on the shelves in the trading market. Qin Tian looked at the trading market. Just seconds after he had just put the orange on it. The 20 oranges exchanged for wood and plastic are decreasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then wait until these two kinds of oranges exchanged for ordinary supplies are all exchanged. Such a sentence appeared in the chat channel. Qin Tian felt speechless for a while. These gluttons who often visit the trading market are really getting more and more tacit. Pick the cheap ones first. Then go to the chat channel and shout out. When those who didn't grab it beat their chests and stomped their feet, their hearts ached and regretted so much that they couldn't breathe. They jumped out again to show off the dimensionality reduction attack. Have to say, it does feel perfect, as expected. After it was exposed in the chat channel that someone had put oranges on the shelves. 5 seconds later, the whole channel immediately exploded. Damn it, I didn't get it. I just upgraded the raft, and I don't have enough metal pieces. WTF. Whoever of you just robbed the last orange? I offered 150 units of metal pieces to buy 3.5 of them. Is there any brother who is willing to help others? I am willing to give 30 units of metal pieces to buy one of the oranges, not for the taste, but for vitamin supplements. Fake, why is this Yanlong man again? My fruit tree is just a sapling now. Why is this Qin Tian able to trade 30 oranges? Could it be that a golden orange treasure chest has been opened? Shit, have you ever heard of such a treasure chest? There are so many oranges, they must only be available when the fruit trees are mature. Is there a special item on his ship that can speed up the passage of time? Someone trembled with disbelief and sent this message. As soon as the information comes out, there was a brief silence in the chat channel. Then it went completely insane. Oh, Micahs, no way. How could that kind of special artifact appear in the novice sea? Then how do you explain the fact that Suishi grows and matures so much earlier? Ida Qin Tian. Qin Tian, is what everyone said true? Did you really get that special artifact that can affect time? It's just that Qin Tian's attention is no longer here at this moment. So I have no idea what is being talked about in the chat channel. At this moment, he extracted 4,000 units of low-quality wood, 4,000 units of low-quality plastic, and 2,400 units of low-quality metal from the trading market. I also bought a green quality saber from the trading market with 2 bottles of water. Item. Saber. Quality. Green. Attack. 8. Durability. 100. Production requirements. Inferior metal sheet 5. Ordinary advancement. 10 low-quality metal pieces, which can be advanced into a blue special advanced saber. Premium advancement. Ordinary metal sheet 10. Great white shark teeth 5, can be advanced into a purple epic assault knife. Advanced advancement. 10 fine metal pieces, 10 top quality white shark king teeth can be advanced into orange legend Dajin Tang knife craftsman. After using divine detective technique to investigate the details of this saber. Without further ado, Qin Tian used 10 units of high quality metal pieces and 10 top quality white shark king teeth to upgrade this saber into a legendary Great Sha Tang Dao. Watching the small saber in his hand that was originally only 30 centimeters suddenly turned into a beautiful and elegant peerless tang knife with a brown scabbard and a cold light shining out. Qin Tian immediately opened up the attributes of this tang knife. Item. Great Sha Tang Knife. Quality. Orange. Attack. 16. Durability. 300. Introduction. This is a treasured knife tempered by special forging technology. It cuts iron like mud, blows hair and breaks hair. With it, your own safety will be greatly improved, and it comes with a 35% block attribute. Comes with 35% block attribute. This seems to be useless. It is estimated that it can be used a little bit when the enemy jumps into melee. Qin Tian didn't care either. He bought the saber for cutting oranges. It's just that I didn't expect that by mistake, it would become a tang knife of legendary quality. Good, Li, good, but it doesn't matter. It can be used to cut oranges. Another 20 oranges are picked from the tree. Use a tang knife to evenly cut each orange into 8 pieces. Immediately Qin Tian put these cut oranges into the trading market by counting the petals. This is the inspiration he found in the chat channel just now. 50 units of high-quality orange petals, each unit can be exchanged for 60 units of low-quality wood. 50 units of high-quality orange petals, each unit can be exchanged for 60 units of inferior plastic. 60 units of high-quality orange petals, each unit can be exchanged for 40 units of inferior metal pieces. In this way, the chosen one who can eat his oranges will be more boastful. although he raised the price of each petal by an extra 10 points. But he believed that the chosen ones would not mind. After all, compared with a healthy body, what are these 10 points of supplies worth? Open the chat channel to have a look. Sure enough, the painting style is very harmonious. 14%. Chapter 69 Upgrade the ship and become famous all over the world. Oh, that Chin Tian has put oranges on the shelves again. Fake, why are they all cut open? Dude, can't you cut it open? You see, I grabbed 2 oranges. But the problem is that the price has increased. Before, a whole orange cost only 400 units of wood, but now buying 8 petals costs 480 units. Let me go, foreign devil upstairs, are you here to show off your mathematical comprehension ability? You can grab 8 orange petals before we talk. I knocked, it's gone. It's gone again, and I only grabbed 1 petal. Be content, I didn't grab a single slice. Chin Shen, please add some more orange slices. I feel that I am seriously deficient in vitamins, and there will be no sunlight for 7 days. I am afraid that I will really get scurvy of. Upstairs, it won't be so fast, right? But what I'm more worried about now is what to do if I suffer from night blindness due to vitamin deficiency. Doesn't that mean I can't even see the barrels of supplies? So, God Chin, hurry up and serve some more orange slices. Seeing that many of the chosen ones of the Yanlong Empire begged so hard, it was impossible. The soft-hearted Chin Tian is naturally responsive. After cutting 30 oranges again, 240 petals will be put on the shelves directly. 80 units of high-quality orange petals, each unit can be exchanged for 60 units of low-quality wood. 80 units of high-quality orange petals, each unit can be exchanged for 60 units of inferior plastic. 80 units of high-quality orange petals, 980 per unit in exchange for 40 units of inferior metal pieces. Then within 2 minutes, the 240 petals of oranges were divided up again. Have to say, the chosen one's demand for fruit is indeed outrageous. On a fishing boat in a distant sea, Carl peeled and ate a juicy orange. Gritting his teeth, he watched the 240 oranges that Chin Tian had just put on the shelves in the trading market being divided up in an instant. Endless anger and jealousy kept impacting on his Tianlin guy. Let him then look at the content in the chat channel. Eyes are red. This damn Chin Tian. How is his luck so good? Advanced water purifier. Stove. Refrigerator. Which one of these can be taken out so that those old gods chosen will not be amazed and jealous? Now there are oranges and special artifacts that seem to be able to affect the flow of time. Carl felt like he was going crazy. As a child of a giant family, make countless promises and gather hundreds of people to help yourself. In the end, he couldn't compare to the opponent, a Yanlong man with unlucky luck. Krypton gold really can't beat the Emperor of Europe. If the other party really wants to get that special artifact that can affect time, wouldn't the other party be able to sell such a precious fruit every 2 weeks? You must know that the growth cycle of a normal fruit tree takes at least 2 months. And for Carl's jealousy and anger, Chin Tian naturally didn't know. Of course, even if you know it, Chin Tian would just smile lightly and send him off to sing. At this moment, he is after trading this wave of oranges. I didn't care about the chats of those people in the chat channel. Instead, it opens the background of the trading market. All the materials were extracted. I saw that the originally empty deck was instantly filled with piles of supplies. He took a look at the list of supplies he used frequently. Bread. 8. Premium shark meat. 29 units. Superb shark meat. 495 units. Oranges. 148. Low quality wood. 343 units. Fine wood. 42 units. Low quality flax. 7,253 units. Common linen. 12 units. Fine linen. 8 units. Inferior sheet metal. 16,123 units. Common sheet metal. 21 units. Excellent sheet metal. 8 units. Common nails. 31 units. Low quality plastic. 13,721 units. Ordinary plastic. 17 units. Rags. 3,380 units. Great white shark teeth. 60 pieces. The best white shark teeth. 50 pieces. Look at this inventory. To be honest, Chin Tian himself was amazed. Put it in the previous life. The materials he has now don't even have a fraction of these data. It can only be said that divine detective technique BBEH is a bit of a gold-swallowing beast. But its ability to make money is not weak. Now that the supplies are complete. In order to avoid long nights and dreams, Qin Tian immediately opened the synthesis panel to start material synthesis. 8,000 low-quality wood is used to synthesize 2,000 high-quality wood. 12,000 low-quality plastics are used to synthesize 3,000 high-quality plastics. Synthesize 6,000 low-quality metal pieces to produce 1,000 units of high-quality nails and 500 units of high-quality metal pieces. Just such a large amount of material synthesis. It took Qin Tian an entire half-afternoon. When all the required materials are synthesized, the originally crowded deck became empty again. But when you see the advanced option behind advanced, Qin Tian's whole body also relaxed. It feels like all the hard work is worth it. His fishing boat has been in the novice sea for less than the third week, and it is about to be advanced into a ship. This is absolutely a miracle that has never happened in history. May I ask if the captain consumes 2,000 high-quality wood, 3,000 high-quality plastic, 1,000 high-quality nails, and 500 high-quality metal sheets to advance the large fishing boat? Yes. Facing the tireless, routine inquiry of the will of the planet, Qin Tian nodded with a faint smile on his face. On this finishing touch. Instead, his heart was inexplicably calmed down. Perhaps it was due to the reason he experienced once in his previous life. With the piles of materials on the deck disappearing at the same time, the golden light then slowly enveloped the entire huge fishing boat. Such a radiant scene in the dark. Naturally, countless Yanlong people in the live broadcast room shouted excitedly. My God, unprecedented, absolutely unprecedented record. God Qin upgraded the raft into a ship during his novice sea. This is a miracle, this is definitely a miracle. It's awesome. Let those foreign devils say that our Yanlong Empire is a weak country on the sea. As long as I, God Qin, are here, we will surpass all of your countries sooner or later. I was wondering if Qin Shen's record might be broken by a latecomer. In 12 days, God Qin upgraded the raft into a ship in only 12 days. Although there are infinite possibilities in the future, given the difficulty of the novice sea area in World of Warships, I feel that this is almost impossible to accomplish. No one would have accomplished this feat 12 days ago. God Qin is a miracle in World of Warships. The warm atmosphere in the live broadcast room rushed straight to Xiaohan. The entire Yanlong Empire was also caught in a sea of carnival. Have a holiday, be it a company or a school. All the leaders spontaneously celebrated this great moment in their own way. The name of Qin Tian spread throughout Yanlong at this moment. 14%. Chapter 70. The only task in the novice sea area. The control area of the Zhongzhou military base. Mu Ningxie and Qin Xiaoxiao suddenly became celebrities here. After the bright golden light converged into the ship mark on his forehead. In an instant, many rich wives of wealthy merchants and gentry surrounded the two of them. They invited the mother and daughter to sit at their home when they had time. Drop by and have afternoon tea or something. And this is just the Yanlong Empire. At this moment, the whole world has undergone many changes towards Qin Tian. Some forces dominated by the Lot family made a high-profile announcement in the Lighthouse Empire. As long as Qin Tian leaves the novice sea area, he will face endless wanted by the Lot family fleet. The Great Cold Empire still stated that Qin Tian was one of them, and that the blood of the Great Cold flowed in his body, and asked the Yanlong Empire to send Mu Ningxie and Qin Xiaoxiao to their country. Not long, however, all the countries in the Eurasian Federation suddenly issued arrest warrants for Qin Tian. Including the Great Cold Empire also changed their attitude all of a sudden, no longer saying that Qin Tian is theirs. And in World of Warships, after the golden light gradually faded, Qin Tian felt that he, who was originally very high above the sea level, suddenly became much lower. Look around. He saw a small gunboat that was slightly rough in construction appearing at his feet. Congratulations, Captain of the Yanlong Empire, your outstanding performance has been recognized by me. On the only island in the Novice Sea, there are a group of vicious alien pirates. I hope you can eradicate this group of malignant tumors. Yanlong, Captain of the Empire, are you willing to accept the only mission in the Novice Sea area? Of course, in return, you will get generous rewards in the center of the island. Just after the battleship had just been upgraded, Qin Tian suddenly heard the inquiry of the will of the planet. Not just him. Even the people in the live broadcast room also heard this voice. This time, all the people in the live broadcast room were suddenly not calm. Oh my God, the will of the planet actually released the mission in person. I've never heard of this before. Nonsense, didn't you listen to the will of the planet? Qin Shen's excellent performance has been recognized by her. Why did Qin God perform so well? Didn't he upgrade the raft to a ship in the Novice Sea area? Oh my god, doesn't that mean that the only mission to activate this Novice Sea area is to upgrade the raft into a ship in the Novice Sea area? Wow, and it's the only mission, which means that as long as Qin Shen completes this mission, even if someone upgrades the raft to a ship in the Novice Sea, this kind of mission will not be triggered again. Baga, why is this happening? There are such Easter eggs in the Novice Sea area. Shit, our chosen one Hobart was almost able to upgrade a large fishing boat into a naval vessel in the Novice Sea area, what a pity. This is the only mission, and I don't know what the reward will be. I curse this Yanlong man for not being able to complete it, and dying there. As far as the upstairs rolls, there are people who live and no one cares for them. No matter what kind of noise in the studio. After Qin Tian heard the voice of the will of the planet. In my heart, I secretly said, coming. It seems that this task is prepared for the god chosen who is the first to upgrade to a ship in the Novice Sea area. Fortunately, his orange tree matured at a critical moment. Otherwise, maybe there is something wrong with it. I stabilized my mind. Qin Tian immediately said, I am willing to accept. Very well, let's go according to my guidance. The excellent Yanlong Empire's chosen one, help you to win the battle. Finished. The will of the planet is gone. And in Qin Tian's field of vision. On the dark and deep sea, there are green arrows showing directions. There is no such thing as urgent tasks. Qin Tian concentrated all his thoughts on his ship. Walked around in a circle. He was somewhat relieved. Affected by the combat effectiveness of large fishing boats. Although this small ship looks a little condensed. But in terms of length and width, it is only a lot more. With a thought, he opened the ship's attribute panel. Name, small gunboat. Displacement, 50 tons. ER 26.3 times 6.38 times 1.8. Health volume, 7200. X, 419. Defense, 135. Power system, none. Speed, 11 knots unavailable. Weapon system, dual 37mm naval guns X2, 12.7 machine guns X2. Torpedo system, not unlocked. Ordinary advancement. Low quality wood 3000, low quality plastic 4000, low quality nails 1500, low quality metal sheet 1000, can be advanced to a medium-sized ship ordinary 1. Quality advanced. Ordinary wood 2500, ordinary plastic 3000, ordinary nails 2000, ordinary metal sheet 1000, can be advanced into a medium-sized ship excellent 1. Advanced advancement. High quality wood 3000, high quality plastic 4000, high quality nails 2000, high quality metal sheet 1000, can be advanced into a medium-sized ship extreme 1. Ask for flowers 00. Seeing that the power system of his gunboat was empty, he could understand. After all, there is no engine installed. But what the hell is this unavailable speed of 11 knots? Doesn't that mean that my boat can't move again? Qin Tian frowned and walked around the shipbuilding. When passing by the base and baffle of the pair of 37mm naval guns, he subconsciously touched the two extended barrels with his left hand. It is said that the giant ship cannon is the favorite of men. This is not empty talk. Even in his last life, he used the naval guns initially given by this ship to bombard the enemy. But after seeing it again, there is still a feeling of enthusiasm and can't put it down. Touch the baffle that feels cold to the touch. With a thought, Qin Tian subconsciously opened the attribute panel of the pair of 37mm naval guns with detective technique. 0. Item. Dual 37mm naval guns, high and flat. Quality. Green. Attack. 68. Effective range. 4,000 meters. Effective shooting height. 3,000 meters. Durability. 800. Effective rate of fire. 50 rounds per minute. Requirement. Every 10 units of low-quality metal pieces consumed can be launched for 1 minute. Qin Tian touched it fondly. Although the initial gift of the naval gun has no quality, the damage value is far less than that of the mythical crossbow. But a hot weapon is a hot weapon after all. The effective range of 4,000 meters is enough to make up for all the disadvantages caused by the lack of damage. Okay, etc. Suddenly, Qin Tian's eyes froze. Green quality. He blinked and looked carefully at the attribute panels of the pair of 37mm naval guns again. It is confirmed that it is really green quality. Is the quality of this naval gun also affected by the combat effectiveness of fishing boats? He remembered that in his last life, after upgrading the fishing boat to this kind of gunboat, not only the size is less than 20 meters, ship bombing has no quality at all. The attack power seems to be only in the early 40s. But now, the naval gun in front of him is actually of green quality. The attack power has also reached 68. Think here. He turned around the ship building again and came to the dual 37mm naval guns installed here on the front deck. Open the properties panel to have a look. Also green quality. This discovery caused a happy smile to bloom on Qin Tian's face. 14%. Chapter 71. The eve of the piranha disaster. The corners of Qin Tian's mouth were raised high. Although it is only a difference of more than 20 points of damage. But you must know that this is a range of 4,000 meters. In today's novice sea where rafts are everywhere and there are as many boats and crossbows as dogs. Even with only 20 points of damage at a distance of 4,000 meters, the enemy can be smashed into a sieve. The opponent who hit him couldn't tell the difference between east, west and north, and he didn't even know who his mother was. Nodding in satisfaction, Qin Tian then turned around and came to the propeller at the stern of the ship. Upon inspection, no damage was found. Confused, he used divine detective technique to open the detailed panel to check. Item. Extended version of solar electric boat engine propeller, please charge. Quality. Orange. Speed. 11 knots. Efficacy. Hanging on the back of the ship can drive ships below 300 tons. Introduction. This is a high-intensity modified and strengthened solar electric boat engine propeller. The powerful effect fully meets the standard of charging for 1 minute and using electricity for 2 hours. Generator version. Consumes 100 fine plastics, 100 fine metal sheets, 10 premium white shark teeth, and comes with a generator charging function after improvement. It turned out to be like this. Out of battery. See charging tips below. Only then did Qin Tian react. Thrusters are only solar rechargeable. And now it's polar night. No wonder it can't be used. Fortunately, my water purifiers and refrigerators are all powered by solar energy and hydropower, otherwise I would have to stop cooking. Helplessly shook his head. Qin Tian can only upgrade thrusters. After consuming 100 units of high-quality plastic, 100 units of high-quality metal sheet and 10 top-quality white shark king teeth to upgrade. With Qin Tian pressing the switch, the hum of the engine sounded. There is no further delay. He first opened the plane map of divine detective technique to detect all movements within 3,000 nautical miles around. Then manipulate the propeller to turn the bow of the ship, sailing quickly in the direction pointed by the green arrow in the field of vision. And with his actions, a green number of 1059.678 also started to emerge. And keep decreasing. When Qin Tian saw this, he immediately rejoiced that he advanced the orange tang knife yesterday. The 1059.678 number represents the total number of nautical miles traveled. At his current speed of 11 knots, it can sail 264 nautical miles in 24 hours a day. And this 1059 nautical miles, he has to run non-stop for at least 4 days. But the day after tomorrow is the day when the ancient man-eating flying fish will bring disaster to the entire novice sea territory. Just the beep sound of his thruster engine. It would be strange if the nearby flying fish didn't swim over to block him. At that time, I will have a tang knife with a 35% block attribute in my hand. That safety factor can indeed be much more. Polar night has no time. The bright moon rises and disappears. Qin Tian's gunboat sailed alone in the deep and dark sea. Occasionally, the flat map shows a giant octopus ahead or a shark that looks huge at first glance. Qin Tian would step out of the cab and control the thrusters to avoid the opponent in a semicircle. Now that he is racing against time, he has no leisure to fight with these powerful sea beasts that come up from the deep sea. Moreover, just the pitch black outside, which can't even be seen from 10 meters away. No matter how you fight, he is the one who suffers. So Qin Tian didn't fight if he didn't fight. Just yesterday, Li Yangming also complained to him that he almost got into the range of a sea beast. If it weren't for a low beep heard in the distance, Qin Tian probably won't be able to receive the other party's message. And in fact, just more than a day's work. In the chat channel, more than a few dozen people said that they had encountered sea beasts. It's just that they are the same as Li Yangming. It's all very lucky. I noticed something was wrong in advance. He avoided it in time. And there are more who directly sent themselves to the face of the sea beast due to poor vision or carelessness. Then there was no chance to escape. It directly became the after-dinner snack of sea beasts. What made Qin Tian and countless Yanlong people most happy was the fleet of hundreds of people formed by Carl. Because the scale is too large. The spread is too wide. Provoked a giant octopus when the moon disappeared and the view was seriously poor. Hear from those who survived. The entire fleet is now completely disrupted. In name only. Those who die die, those who flee escape. In this regard, Qin Tian could only cook a large pot of fish broth full of top-quality shark meat to mourn for the other party. With the experience of the previous life and the lessons learned from the Carl fleet, Qin Tian is careful and careful. Cautious and cautious. Even if you are sleepy. He didn't even dare to go back to the lounge and lie down on the bed to sleep. I just woke up after lying on the bridge of the cab for a short nap. Then quickly look at the flat map in your mind. See if there are any giant sea beasts in the way ahead. That's it. The time has come again when the moon rises at night. For all the chosen ones. The time when the moon rises at night is simply the most beautiful time of the day. At least in the moonlight. Their eyes finally opened up from less than 10 meters to a distance of thousands of meters. Not only can it effectively prevent the intrusion of sea beasts, even the odds of opening a cask seem to be back up to extreme heat levels. And chat channels are often the most active at this time. Ah, I lived another day. Brothers, who of you has food? I didn't get a single barrel today. I feel so hungry that I can hardly row a boat. Damn it, a huge shark dorsal fin suddenly appeared a few hundred meters in front of me. Fortunately, I turned around and paddled fast, which really scared me to death. 500 wood for 250 metal pieces, contact us for a change. Bread for water, chat privately if interested. Viola at Qin Tian. Qin Tian, I want to ask if you still have oranges. I want to buy a few petals. Same request. God Qin, I feel like I have night blindness today. I can hardly see anything during the day. I was so scared that I almost jumped into the sea because I couldn't bear the blow. It's not the case upstairs. Be strong. This is already the 3rd week, and in half a month we will be able to release 1.3 to this damn novice sea. Qin Tian stood by the stove. While grilling slices of top-quality shark meat on it, he looked at these not-so-pessimistic chats. Wait for the moon to disappear tonight. After those ancient man-eating flying fish wreaked havoc. This chat channel will no longer be so relaxed and positive. At that time, they will become a truly qualified God's chosen after they have truly experienced blood and death tempering. So while these people are still full of good hopes for the future, Qin Tian decided to squeeze the last value of these people again. He sent messages directly in the chat channel. Qin Tian at everyone. Seeing everyone's life is not easy, I will let go of my treasure sale again. After this wave of sale, I don't think there will be any more in Xingrui. It's a big deal. 14%. Chapter 72 The Final Squeeze, Medium-Sized Gunboat. See Qin Tian's message. The atmosphere in the chat channel suddenly became hot. Products produced by Qin Tian must be high-quality products. They have already experienced this in several transactions in the past. So they opened up the trading market one after another. His eyes were fixed on the interface above. Qin Tian glanced at his digital backpack. There are 148 more oranges. 490 slices of premium shark meat. He immediately bought 30 wooden bowls in the trading market with supplies. He had just finished drinking, and there was still a large pot of fish soup left in the pot, which was divided into 25 bowls. He put all these fish soups on the shelves. 25 bowls of top-quality shark soup. Each bowl will be exchanged for 50 units of inferior plastic. Then he put the grilled fish on the stove on the shelf. 10 units of top-quality shark meat. Each unit can be exchanged for 50 units of inferior plastic. After finishing these, he's starting to play big tonight. Exactly 100 oranges were picked from the tree. Cut each into 8 pieces and hang them up. 200 units of high-quality orange petals. Each unit can be exchanged for 60 units of low-quality wood. 300 units of high-quality 11-quality orange petals are exchanged for 60 units of low-quality plastic. 300 units of high-quality orange petals. Each unit can be exchanged for 40 units of inferior metal pieces. Hiss. When seeing this series of listings, all the chosen ones involuntarily gasped. The broth of the best shark meat is fine. Although the king-level boss is indeed powerful. But think about the abnormal combat power of Qin Tian's fishing boat. They don't feel any sense of incongruity at all. The most important thing is these 800 petals of oranges. Doesn't it add up to 100 whole? But the problem is that Qin Tian has traded dozens of them before. 100 more are now available. Then count what he left for himself. Oh my god, this amount must not exceed 200. Other people's fruit trees usually bear dozens of fruits. If the quality is good, the flower pots and other high-end items can be over 100 years old. He is fine. It directly broke 200, which is more than twice as much as others. Then think of Qin Tian's special artifact that seems to affect the passage of time. It's real. The pot or soil for planting this orange tree is definitely a super treasure of orange legendary quality. They watched the time-space live broadcast for 3 years. As long as you follow some clues and think about it for a while, you can get a general idea in your heart. But now I can't think about it too much. Just such a short time. Half of the 800 petals of oranges were snapped up. Many people joined the panic-buying army immediately after regaining their senses. Ha ha ha, I got it, I finally tasted the fruit. Olivia at Qin Tian. It's so delicious, this is too sweet, woohoo, handsome guy from the Yanlong Empire, I'm Olivia from the empire on which the sun never sets, I want to date you, you can see. Climb away upstairs, God Qin belongs to our Yanlong Empire, and if he wants to date, he will also associate with us beauties of the Yanlong Empire. Wu Yuqi at Qin Tian. Qin Shen, I am 27, with a sweet voice and a golden body ratio. More importantly, she is a young woman. If necessary, I agree with her friend application. She can give up her ship and follow Qin Shen all the time. You. Bah, what's so good about a young woman? God Qin, look at me, I'm 26 years old, with a childlike beauty, isn't it better than a young woman? In this world, Mu Ningxie narrowed her beautiful eyes angrily looking at the content of these chats. Qin Xiaoxiao, who was doing homework next to her, glanced at the time-space live broadcast. Secretly stuck out his little tongue, then hurriedly buried his head and continued to do his homework obediently. And in World of Warships, Qin Tian is sitting on the seat of the dual 37mm naval guns. Looking at such joyful content in the chat channel. For a while, he shook his head helplessly. Wait until the moon in the sky disappears. How many people here will never see the moon tonight again? It can only be said that life is impermanent, because the intestines wrap the small intestines. He couldn't remind anything. Everything can only depend on their respective fortunes. As for Li Yangming and Nangong La Qin Tian, they were not too worried. The former has upgraded the raft and has a boat canopy. As long as he doesn't kill himself, he should be able to survive this wave. As for the latter, in the following year, he became a major general in the army. Naturally, there is no problem. Think east and west. Seeing that all the items I put on the shelves were looted in less than 5 minutes. Qin Tian immediately threw all these irrelevant matters to the sky. Who cares? Nothing is as important as him hoarding supplies to upgrade the ship. He opened the background interface of the trading market comfortably. Low quality wood, 19,343. Inferior plastic, 21,470. Inferior metal sheet, 22,123. And at this moment, he also found that the 200 bottles of ice water he had hung up before had automatically expired and taken off the shelves. There are only 33 bottles left to exchange for metal pieces, which have not been exchanged. All the rest were redeemed. Just these 2 items. Inferior wood adds another 10,000 units. Inferior metal sheet is added 6,700 units. Qin Tian looked at the huge amount of supplies. Pull open the side door of the shipbuilding directly. Stepping briskly down to the cabin below the deck, Curry chose to extract. After all, the moon disappears. Those piranha flying fish are about to fill the deck of the ship and start to wreak havoc. Putting the supplies on the deck will not be covered with a pungent fishy smell within minutes. And just before the ancient man-eating flying fish wreaked havoc, he gave his ships a wave of comprehensive upgrades. This will also help to complete the task of eliminating alien pirates entrusted to him by the will of the planet 3 days later. To the ship class, each upgrade scales. That is a huge improvement for the battleship. Like the little gunboat he's driving now. Whether it is the appearance or the facilities. That's exactly the same as the ships on Earth in the 1970s. Not only is it not beautiful at all, but it is also a bit rough when you look closely. But after upgrading to medium, whether it is the appearance or the facilities, it is almost the same as the ship that was improved to the 1990s, and the strength is a qualitative leap. As for upgrading to large, that is exactly the level of 10 or even 20 years. The appearance and facilities are the most advanced. Combat power is even more than the sum of the previous 2 ships. So I looked at the materials that filled the entire warehouse in an instant. Qin Tian couldn't help but start to synthesize immediately. As long as he upgrades the gunship to medium, then the radar and torpedo system will be automatically unlocked. At that time, it will be much easier to face those alien pirates. God knows how many ships those alien pirates have. But even the chosen one from the Lighthouse Empire was able to pass the level smoothly in the Novice Sea territory. That is based on his strength. As long as there are no moths. If everything is well prepared, there should be no problem. I don't know how long it took to synthesize it. Visibility from the portholes began to decrease. Qin Tian finally synthesized the resources to upgrade medium-sized ships. Just got it together. He immediately started upgrading the gunships. May I ask if the captain consumes 3,000 high-quality wood, 4,000 high-quality plastic, 2,000 high-quality nails, and 1,000 high-quality metal sheets to advance the small gunboat? Yes. Qin Tian nodded as he walked up. 14%. Chapter 73 Flying Fish Strikes, the Sad God's Chosen One. To be honest, even he never thought that he would become so heaven-defying after entering the world of warships this time. When I first came in, he also thought that with the experience of his previous life, he would be the first to upgrade the Raft into a ship normally and be content. Then after awakening the only SSS level talent detective technique, he also thought that he could be the first to upgrade the Raft into a ship with advanced every time, and he would be invincible. But now, not only did he upgrade the Raft to the ship according to advanced every time, and in the third week of Novice Sea, the ship was upgraded to medium. To know the total resource of the upgraded ship, enough for those ordinary chosen to raise the Raft directly to the destroyer. Can only say, this is really what many people have said. In World of Warships, as long as you awaken a good talent against the sky, then you are the real uncrowned king inside. With the disappearance of supplies, the golden light enveloped the gunboat again. Wait until the golden light dissipates. The gunboat that appeared before Qin Tian's eyes had turned into a brand new warship with a modern style. It's just that the naval guns on the ship are still the two dual 37mm naval guns and two 12.7 machine guns. Qin Tian knows, unless it is breaking through to the frigate class or opening treasure chests to get other weapons to replace. Otherwise, during the entire ship level, the two dual 37mm naval guns will follow the gunboat for the entire journey. Even if it is upgraded to a large ship, it is also armed. Qin Tian didn't care much about it. With a thought, he opened the attribute panel of the brand new gunboat under his feet. Name: medium gunboat. Displacement: 110 tons. Air 37.78 times 6.65 times 1.6. Health volume: 8,200. Ix: 419. Defense: 150. Fire control system: unlockable. Power system: none. Speed: 11 knots. Weapon system: dual 37mm naval guns X2, 12.7 machine guns X2. Radar system: unlockable. Torpedo system: unlockable. Ordinary advancement: low quality wood 4,500, low quality plastic 5,000, low quality nails 3,000, low quality metal sheet 2,000, can be advanced to large ships. Common 1. Quality advanced: ordinary wood 4,000, ordinary plastic 4,000, ordinary nails 3,000, ordinary metal sheet 2,000, can be advanced into a large ship. Excellent 1. Advanced advancement: 4,000 high quality wood, 5,000 high quality plastic, 3,000 high quality nails, 3,000 high quality metal sheet, can be advanced into a large ship. Exquisite 1. Looking at Lianju, there are 3 ship systems that can be unlocked. Qin Tian's deep eyes could not help but light up. In the previous life, his ship was upgraded to a large size before he was eligible to unlock the fire control system. Unexpectedly, all of them will be unlocked after upgrading to medium-sized in this life. But for him now, there is not much difference between having and not having this fire control system. Look up at the sky. Seeing that the moon has dimmed a lot, Qin Tian immediately went out and moved the 3 fruit trees, the stove and the water purifier into the spacious and bright control room. He didn't want those crazy flying fish to knock these precious bumps into the vast ocean. After all this is arranged, Qin Tian opened the door of the control room and walked out. Observe the direction of action of the green arrow. See no problem. He looked at the deck again. Nothing is missing either. Then he stood on the ship tower and waited quietly. The dim bright moon in the sky disappeared completely. The surrounding sea instantly plunged into darkness. Shish, I don't know how many minutes passed. Or 10 minutes later, suddenly there was a slight whistling sound on the surrounding sea. It's like hundreds of martial arts masters slashing and slashing together. The sharp piercing sound soon came from far to near. Thickened and pierced, in Qin Tian's vision, as long as an adult thigh. Long-tailed fish with fins the size of bird wings suddenly flew up from the dark sea. After falling on the deck, I saw the man-eating flying fish bouncing back and forth, opening its big mouth, which is sharper and more terrifying than a piranha, ka-ka-ka, towards the air around it. It was a burst of bites. Qin Tian has no doubts. Caught by the fangs, I am afraid that a large piece of flesh on his body will be lost immediately. Crackling, crackling, seeing that there are more and more ancient piranha flying fish on the deck. Moreover, the reinforced version of the propeller installed behind the stern was hit hundreds of times without any problem. Only then did Qin Tian feel relieved. He turned back to the control room and locked the door, sit at the console, looking at the horrible scene like locusts passing through the reinforced bulletproof glass. Qin Tian couldn't help feeling his scalp tingle. But he knew that this phenomenon was only temporary. Because it just came out. All were attracted by the sound of his thruster motor. Wait until you keep encountering people and things that make sounds along the way. The tens of thousands of piranha flying fish will be dispersed by more than half. At that time, there is not much threat to him. Look away from the window. He got up and picked 2 oranges from the orange tree. Then peel on one side. With a thought, he opened the chat channel. He knows the wailing and despairing chat seen in the previous life. This moment is about to reappear. Only, in his previous life, he was also a member of the Howling Army. And this life, he was sitting in the cab alone. A spectator who leisurely eats oranges. Ah, Baga, my hand was eaten. Why do these piranhas appear? How can we live? I even buy karma. Don't make any noise. As long as we can quietly escape the craziest first wave, the chances of us surviving are still very high. Yes, these ancient piranha flying fish are most sensitive to the smell of blood and sound. Avoiding these 2 points will be fine. Wang Zhao. Large rafts with resources should quickly upgrade fishing boats. It will be much safer with cabins. Ah, it hurts me to death. I can't do it anymore. Woohoo, there are flying piranhas all around me right now. My face was bitten. Damn it, one of my friends was knocked into the sea. Oh my god, those flying fishes crushed his head. Oh hoo, poor Micah. Just like the previous life. In the face of this sudden and huge change, many are simply not equipped to cope. Dead, wounded. The live broadcast room was full of mournful tributes of pain and despair. Outside world, 8 in the morning, when the audience who had been waiting for a long time poured into Qin Tian's live broadcast room. I saw Qin Tian sitting in the driver's seat eating an orange bit by bit, bored. Reinforced bulletproof glass on the front. From time to time, a few slender and big fish would hit them like moths to a flame. The knocked windows, slapped. 15%. Chapter 74 Barbecue with local materials, stunned everyone. I'm knocking, what's the situation? Scary piranhas. The look on the floor, this is clearly an ancient man eating flying fish, okay. Hiss, how do you feel that the extreme climate of Qin Shen's episode is a bit scary? The extreme night actually included the attack of the ancient man eating flying fish, which was taken out as an extreme disaster before. Oh my god, what a tragedy, brothers, I just came from the live broadcast room of our Great Cold Empire's Chosen Ones. Several of our Great Cold's Chosen Ones have been eaten to only half their bodies, but they haven't died yet. Ah, normal, but whenever there is a catastrophe of man-eating flying fish, 70% of the people who died are like this. Am I the only one who noticed that God Qin's battleship seems to be getting bigger? Normal, I upgraded again, after all, there was a big sale yesterday. In the face of Qin Tian's move to upgrade the gunboat again. The people in the live broadcast room are already getting used to Sikong. Even those foreign devils have a certain resistance. For them, as long as the ship is not upgraded to a cruiser all at once. That's all reasonable, just normal basics. Do not 6. Dee. And Qin Tian sighed, just when he got up to water the apple trees and cucumber vines. Suddenly, a private chat notification sounded in my mind. Open it and have a look. At 750, the heads of Li Yangming and Nangongla were flickering frantically. This made Qin Tian laugh. What's going on with these 2 people? Do you come in a group to chat with him? Open the private chat interface between the 2. Oh, boss, what's going on with you? I was bitten by a fish just to save a wave of my own resources, and almost ran into the cabin. Boss, I'm trapped in the cabin. I want to exchange some food and water with you with an item. Do you think it's okay? As he said that, Nangongla sent an item introduction. Item: barbecue. Quality: blue. Efficacy: a grill that can improve your cooking skills. With it, you will grill food with excellent taste. When the fire is strong, the grilling time can be reduced by 50%. See the introduction of this grill. Qin Tian first casually sent a message back to Li Yangming to be perfunctory. Immediately Yu readily agreed to Nangong Li's request. His stove already has the effect of automatically improving the taste and texture by 50%. If you add the flavor of this barbecue grill, the taste of the grilled food will definitely be much better than before. In this world of warships that is hovering on the edge of life and death every day, appetite is sometimes one of the favorite pursuits of many BBFC people. Because food can make them feel that they are still alive anyway. Nangong, I'll give you 6 bottles of water first, and you trade me the grill, so I can grill some meat and see the effect. And Nangong was happy to see Qin Tian's message over there. He also happily traded directly with Qin Tian. Send the grill over. It feels cold to the touch, a bit like a stainless steel grill. Qin Tian directly put it on the stove. Then he removed the orange quality tang knife from the wall of the cab. He casually held a beautiful Empress Dowager. He walked directly to the door of the cab. Then he pulled the door open. Come on, what does God Qin want to do? Isn't he planning to use flying fish to barbecue on the spot? Too brave, no one else can hide in time. I saw that God Qin asked Nangongla to trade the grill. I thought he was going to grill top quality shark meat, who knew he was going to use local materials. Just when everyone was discussing in the live broadcast room, a man eating flying fish with a length of 80 to 90 centimeters swung its powerful tail and rushed towards Qin Tian to bite. Qin Tian took a step back with an extremely calm expression, then swung his saber sideways. The head of the piranha flying fish fell silently. Qin Tian kicked out with a left kick. With one kick, the flying fish's head was kicked out of the gunboat and fell into the sea. Then closed the door. Movements are smooth and coordinated in one go. And just the second after he closed the door, there was a cracking, flying fish crashing outside the door. In the studio, everyone was stunned by this move. I bought karma. This Yanlong man is too slow. I can't do it anymore. I feel like I really fell in love with him. Is Qin Shen good at martial arts? Not to mention the beautiful knife and flower arm, and this move is also clean and neat, with no redundant movements at all. Qin Shen is so good, the timing is absolutely perfect. And in the control room, block the nearby piranha flying fish who heard the sound from outside the door. Qin Tian turned around and came to the grill. He immediately put the 80 centimeters flying fish in his hand on the shelf. The circle above the stove before. Squeeze at most 10 slices of shark meat the size of an adult's palm. And now with this grill, it is no problem to put 20 pieces of shark meat directly in the upper and lower rows. Open the oven lid under the shelf. Flames burst out immediately. Then the next second, a strong and tangy smell of barbecue filled the cab. Turned back and forth a dozen times. The whole fish has been grilled to be crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Qin Tian closed the furnace lid, while continuing to roast with the residual temperature. He used a tang knife to cut off the flying fish's stomach and internal organs and pushed it aside. Although this will be somewhat wasteful, but it's better than disassembling here and making the whole control room smell like fish. Besides, he doesn't have that much water to wash off right now. After seeing that the fish has been grilled almost, he raised the knife and dropped it. Gently divide the fish in half. Then with a thought, he opened Nangongle's private chat interface, initiated a transaction request, and put half of the fish on it. Somewhere in the Novice Sea territory, a medium-sized fishing boat drifts with the current. Looking at the crazy flying fish seen outside through the porthole, Nangongla only felt lucky. Fortunately, when these piranhas attacked, she quietly hid in the cabin with advance warning. Although trapped inside without food and water. But at least there weren't many piranhas flying onto her boat. I just don't know when these flying fish will fly away. I hope she won't toss her supplies into the sea. And at this moment, she received a transaction request initiated by Qin Tian. After seeing the half-grilled fish, she agreed without thinking. After a busy night, the flying fish disaster broke out before I even had time to eat breakfast. In desperation, she didn't even have time to take the 10 loaves of bread. Hope it's not as cheap as those flying fish out there. After extracting the half-grilled fish traded by Qin Tian, the cabin was immediately filled with an alluring smell of grilled fish. Nangongla, who was already hungry, couldn't care less about the heat. Tear off a small strip with your hands, blow it, and put it in your mouth. Instantly, a crispy outside and tender inside, a sweet and smooth taste filled her whole taste buds. And there was a faint warm current growing in her body. Until then, only then did she realize that the shape of the half-fish was very similar to the piranha flying fish outside. She was stunned immediately, hastily sent a message to Qin Tian. My God, boss, you actually killed a man-eating flying fish. This is too delicious. 15%. Chapter 75 Qin Tian wants to give away his head. In the gunboat control room, Qin Tian looked at the message from Nangongla. After a faint smile, he also ate half a flying fish in 3s and 5s. Unexpectedly, the combination of a stove and a grill grilled this flying fish with a sweet taste. This is in the world of warships where even salty taste is hard to taste. It is simply a delicacy that is hard to find. Plus the 50% taste boosted by the stove. Those fish bones were grilled to the point where they could be chewed. No more, no less. It tastes delicious. Eat and drink enough. Qin Tian took 6 bottles of water from the water purifier and watered them in the apple tree and yellow melon vine pots respectively. Get it all done. Qin Tian walked to the console. Look at the green guiding arrow on the dark sea ahead. He felt somewhat rejoiced. Fortunately, after these man-eating flying fish appeared, those large sea beasts also seemed to avoid them intentionally and no longer run towards the surface of the sea. Otherwise, he would always have to worry about confronting those behemoths that are fully capable of destroying his battleship. Don't worry about the big sea beast anymore. Qin Tian, who hadn't slept well for a few days, quickly fell asleep on the console. Outside world, Mu Ningxie looked at the side face of the man who breathed evenly and had a peaceful face. What I couldn't help but feel distressed and sad. Even through the screen, she could feel the loneliness emanating from Qin Tian. I don't know how long it has been. When Qin Tian wakes up again, the sea surface outside has been transformed by the shimmering light of the bright and clear moon. I actually slept all day. Qin Tian rubbed his sore shoulder, then stood up holding the console. It's just that when his eyes saw the direction of the green guide arrow on the sea surface to the left, he woke up suddenly. I'm going. When will I turn around? He hurriedly looked at the remaining nautical miles. 865.279. Gosh, this is a distance of at least 2 or 3 hours. Qin Tian sighed speechlessly. Get up and walk to the door of the control room. Through bulletproof glass, looking at the deck by moonlight, I saw that the flying fish on it had become much thinner. There are only 7 or 8 of them that have just landed on it, bouncing back and forth. Qin Tian was cautious, opened the door and walked out without making a sound. Then the probe looked in the direction of the propeller at the stern. I saw that although it was not as scary as in the morning, but there are still hundreds of flying fish jumping out of the sea and hitting the stern of the boat. From time to time, a few of them jumped onto the deck at the stern. Take a deep breath. Qin Tian gently pulled out the tang knife from the knife holder on the wall. Then he conveniently stuck the flying fish maw that he had cut off on the grill onto the tip of the knife. Raising his vigilance, he walked down the shipbuilding lightly. Slowly walked towards the stern. Spacetime Live. Just now there were only tens of thousands of people left in the live broadcast room after someone revealed the news that Qin Tian had woken up. Immediately, it crazily climbed to millions of people. I'm dizzy. Qin Shen is going to make trouble. Why is he walking towards the stern of the boat with the most flying fish at this time? Qin Shen, don't do stupid things. Isn't it okay to spend some time in the control room? Hee, I like giving away human heads. Just spend a little more time, and just kill yourself. The foreigner upstairs, do you want to die? Believe it or not, I crawled over to beat you according to the signal. I feel that God Qin is planning to go to the propeller to change the direction of navigation. After all, God Qin has accepted the only mission in the novice sea territory, and he probably woke up from a sleep and the route deviated. It makes sense, but it's too dangerous. There is no way to be dangerous, you can't always yaw. Qin Tian, who didn't know about these discussions in the live broadcast room, slowly walked to the stern with a knife in his hand. Looking at the dozen or so flying fish jumping around on the deck, he gestured with his middle finger. Then he lifted his foot and walked gently to the thruster. Seeing the right time, he shook Tang Dao vigorously with his wrist. The piece of fish maw stuck on the tip of the knife fell into the distant sea with a plop. Immediately, many man-eating flying fish heard the sound and flew towards the direction where the fish ma fell behind. Qin Tian took the opportunity and hurried forward to release the fixed button of the thruster. Then control the gunboat to turn. Shish. Maybe it was his movement that caused some slight noises. The piranha flying fish on the surrounding decks suddenly jumped at him. Qin Tian watched the four directions with his eyes, and listened to the continuous slashing of the knife from all directions to cook the flying fish that rushed up into the sea. On one side, the propeller is controlled to adjust the sailing direction to the same direction as the green guide arrow in the field of vision. After finishing these, he just pressed the fix button. Then he swung his knife and beheaded a few more flying fish. Asked for flowers, slowly withdrew and evacuated the area at the stern. Came to the bottom of the shipbuilding. It happened that a flying fish more than 1 meter long fell on the deck 2 meters away from him. Thinking that I haven't eaten dinner tonight. Qin Tian did not hesitate at all. He walked over directly with a knife. With the knife in hand, he chopped off the hideous and terrifying head of the flying fish. Then carry the tail. He brought the body of the nearly 1 meter long flying fish back to the control room so easily and freely. Studio. All the people who witnessed all this could not help but stare wide-eyed. This is too violent. The other chosen ones are all alive at the moment. One by one hid on the raft like a quail, or dared not move in the cabin or the canopy. 0. However, Qin Tian not only walked out of the control room. He also went to the hardest hit area at the stern to manipulate the thrusters to change the direction of the gunboat. Especially the one that easily cut off the head of the flying fish at the end. The unrestrained figure who casually took a piece of dinner home for himself. It also showed many foreign women who advocated the aesthetics of power, and they were all hot. Yelling, "Very good," and back to Qin Tian in the control room. First, he spread the flying fish carcass squarely on the grill. Then Tang Dao was inserted back into the scabbard. After finishing these tasks, he came to the fire. While grilling the fish, he opened the World Chat channel. I'm about to starve to death. The 2 bags of bread on the raft were knocked into the sea by a piranha at noon. When will these damned piranhas end? 1. Well, it will take at least 2 or 3 days. Eat whatever you have now. Try not to make any noise. The most dangerous first wave has already been avoided. As long as you are good, you can get through this polar night smoothly. The people upstairs have a canopy or a cabin. Otherwise, how could they say so lightly? I was lying on the raft, and I had to pee in my pants even when I peed. It was really painful. Oh, by karma, I can't do it, brothers, my leg was bitten off, I have already lost too much blood and passed out once, now the outside of the boat canopy smells blood everywhere and wants to break in and eat my food man flying fish. My hand was bitten off, and I became disabled in this world of warships. I can't think of any qualifications to survive in World of Warships, so, goodbye everyone, this F-King world. 5. 15%. Chapter 76 Hunting Flying Fish, Make Another Wave. Just like what he experienced in the previous life. Chat channels are full of negative messages. Many chosen ones who had their limbs bitten off were full of despair about their future. And those God-chosen who had no water and food were also uneasy. It is not known how long these man-eating flying fish will wreak havoc. Qin Tian rubbed his temples and recalled carefully. It seems that this wave of man-eating flying fish disasters lasted for almost 3 days. That is, it ended on the 6th day of the polar night climate. Shook his head, just as Qin Tian was playing with the almost cooked flying fish and was about to enjoy dinner. A flash of inspiration suddenly flashed in his mind. It seems that I have overlooked something. He frowned and looked at the chat record again. And soon he knew where his inspiration came from. All the content of the 380 days of chatting. Almost every 3 or 5 posts someone complains about the lack of food and water. And most of them were stranded on the raft with nothing to do in the cabins and tents. You can only concentrate on the chat channel or the trading market to pass the time. Use this to divert your attention. Isn't this the best time to earn materials by yourself? After all, as long as it survives at this stage. 80% of the people are flocking in chat channels. And most importantly, now many gods chosen have resources but no food and water. Isn't this a coincidence? Although there is not much water in his hand now. But the food is okay. Think so. He turned his attention to the grilled fish on the grill. And it's a lucrative no-cost deal. Excitedly, he took Tang Dao off the wall again. Then cut this adult thigh-thick, 1 meter long grilled fish in half from the middle. evenly cut into 16 pieces. After cutting, he was in no rush to list deals. Instead, turn on recording for the chat channel. A close-up of the golden-colored piranha flying fish that covered the entire grill was grilled. Later, he recorded a video of himself picking up a piece of grilled fish and eating it with a mouthful of oil. Compared to the picture, naturally, the video looks more interesting. Otherwise, why did the eating and broadcasting industry flourish in the last life? After recording, Chin Tian read it from beginning to end. Especially the part where he chewed the fish piece, he made himself hungry. See, the effect is not bad. Only then was he satisfied and sent the video to the chat channel. And a sentence is attached. Life must be full of joy. At this juncture, the dynamics sent by him, a big celebrity in the novice sea, are naturally super eye-catching. When all the chosen ones who noticed this scene opened the video and watched it, the chat channel immediately exploded. Damn, if I'm not mistaken, God Chin roasted a piranha flying fish. Diao diao diao. Chin Shen Niubi, we were so scared by the man-eating flying fish that we nestled on the boat and did not dare to move, but Chin Shen had already placed them directly on his dining table. Shout, what's the air? The piranhas are actually just like the piranhas in the real world, and they are also powerful in groups. Leaving the number, I can beat them by myself with a baseball bat. Hey, don't talk about those unrealistic things. Man-eating flying fish won't pay attention to fighting alone with you. Besides, our God Chin is not one of those man-eating flying fish that hunts alone. 1. Zhongji at Chin Tian. Chin God, do you sell your grilled fish? I am willing to buy a piece of grilled fish from you with 50 units of wood. As soon as Zhongji's question came out, it was only at this time that many God-chosen people paid attention to the important point. Yes, indeed. Buy food. I am almost starving to death. With the ability of this Yanlong man, since he can catch the first one, then he can catch the second and third one. Can't I buy and eat by myself? And I heard that the meat of this ancient man-eating flying fish also has the effect of increasing physical fitness. As for whether the price will be too much higher. Hee. Please. Whether people can see the moon tomorrow is not certain. Who cares about whether the price is expensive or not? As long as it's not too outrageous. At least be a full ghost before you die. Yes, Chin Tian, if you sell this grilled flying fish meat, I will exchange 80 units of metal pieces for 2 of you. Are you guys upstairs joking? This is the meat of a man-eating flying fish. Are you trying to send off beggars with your low price? Chin Shen, I will offer 100 units of wood to buy a piece. Yanlong people, I will order 130 units of metal pieces to order 2 pieces of piranha flying fish meat. Chin Tian looked at the buying messages one after another in the chat channel. The smile on the face gradually became presumptuous. Really, as long as you can hold it. There are still many opportunities in World of Warships. He is not verbose either. Keep the 5 most meaty pieces for yourself. Then the remaining 10 pieces of grilled fish were directly opened to the trading market and placed on them. 5 units of high-quality flying fish meat, each unit can be exchanged for 120 units of inferior plastic. 5 units of high-quality flying fish meat, each unit can be exchanged for 70 units of inferior metal. Chin Tian wants to see how the sales ability is at this price. Although he killed man-eating flying fish like chopping melons and vegetables. But the risk is still not small. So the final number will definitely not be too much. In this particular case, the maximization of energy benefits is naturally the maximization of benefits. However, when Chin Tian hung up the 10 pieces of grilled flying fish meat, it was sold out in an instant. The moment she looked at her trading background, there were 600 units of inferior plastic and 350 units of inferior metal sheets. I immediately had a bottom line on this transaction in my heart. He didn't extract those resources either. Taking advantage of the moonlight. He didn't dare to waste any time. Holding the tang knife, he walked down the boat building lightly. Then start your own hunt. The main rule when dealing with these flying fish is not to make too much noise. Chin Tian holds an orange quality tang knife. Cutting these flying fish is as easy as cutting tofu. And he didn't want to go far. So kill around the ship building. If there are enough 3, send them to the control room once. It's not that he wants to run 1.9 more times. I'm really worried that if I take too much, there will be mistakes. In case a fish falls to the ground, it makes a noise. At that time, he will not even think about coming out in a short time. So under his cautious attitude, when line of sight visibility becomes low, he has successfully hunted down a total of 36 piranhas. Go back to the control room. Looking at the long and short, wet and slippery flying fish carcasses all over the ground. Qin Tian gently put the knife aside. Pick up a piranha and put it on the grill to grill it. While baking, he also took a video and sent it to the chat channel. At the beginning of the video is the headless piranha flying fish corpses of different lengths. See this video. All the chosen ones in the chat channel immediately became excited. Quite a few hungry people who had their chests on their backs started to speak frantically. 15%. Chapter 77 Get Rich, Upgrade the Large Gunboat. 666. God Qin, hurry up and grill, the supplies are ready, just waiting for you to put the grilled fish on the shelf. Yanlong people, although I really don't want to admit it, but you did a good job this time, your grilled flying fish is so delicious, I almost swallowed my own tongue. Indeed, as a senior gourmet in Rose Country, I have to admit that this grilled fish is the best grilled fish I have ever eaten, whether it is in this world or World of Warships. Baga, what are you talking about? As a member of the Eurasian Federation, I feel deeply ashamed for your remarks that praise the enemy. Hey, is the little devil so stubborn? I hope you will do what you say, and you will not buy grilled fish when I, God of Qin, put it on the shelves. He glanced at the wind direction in the chat channel. See, most people have been waiting for his grilled fish. As soon as the corner of Qin Tian's mouth raised, he roasted with peace of mind. Open the stove lid. Fiery flames shot up immediately. Constantly licking the grilled fish on the grill. Moment. The effect of grilling time can be reduced by 50% when the fire is strong, is activated. Qin Tian just flipped back and forth about 10 times. About 3 minutes or so. The whole fish has been grilled golden on both sides and is ready to be served. Qin Tian didn't cut through 11 of them this time. But after drawing a ratio, pick up the knife and divide the fish into 20 evenly sized pieces. Straight away after cutting, 10 units of high-quality flying fish meat, each unit can be exchanged for 120 units of inferior plastic. 10 units of high-quality flying fish meat, each unit can be exchanged for 70 units of low-quality metal. Then he just put it on the shelves here. It was immediately robbed. Gone. What kind of hand speed are you guys who have been single for 20 years? I ordered Qin Shen as soon as it was on the shelf, so naturally I didn't grab it. Hey, young man, you should practice for 2 or 3 years before talking about it. For the rest of the time, Qin Tian took the trouble to roast all the remaining 35 piranha flying fish. He cut each strip into 20 pieces. Just switched to plastic and metal. In the end, after all, the 36 flying fish were sold out. The chat channel is still full of voices asking for purchases. 720 pieces of grilled fish. For the 60,000 to 70,000 gods chosen who are still there, it is indeed a drop in the bucket, not enough at all. It's just that Qin Tian no longer has the mind to care about those remarks in the chat channel. Now all his attention is focused on the 2 strings of data in the background of the trading market. 37,800 for inferior plastic. 22,050 pieces of inferior metal. What a terrifying data this is. No wonder people say that horses are not fat. No one is rich without windfall. What he said made so much sense. At this juncture, that is enough to threaten one's own life. Even if he asks for a higher price for grilled fish, there are probably people rushing to buy them. Such a high profit. Excited, Qin Tian wanted to rush out and chop dozens of piranhas. After all, it's just such a wave of transactions. His gunships can be upgraded to large gunships. How long has it been since he finished upgrading the medium-sized gunboat? Even he himself felt that this upgrade speed was a bit too much. Just watching the outside disappear with the moonlight. Visibility is less than 10 meters line of sight. Qin Tian suppressed his greed rationally. Never mind. Too dangerous. There are still opportunities. There is no rush for this moment. In case a carelessness confessed himself to the outside. No matter how much material you earn, it will be in vain. So Qin Tian resolutely chose to give up. Open the floor plan and look at it. See no problem within a radius of 30 nautical miles. After the ship sails in the same direction as the guide arrow. He carried Tang Dao. He opened the door of the control room and went down the shipbuilding lightly. Then go down through the side door to the cabin area below deck. Came directly to Curry, the warehouse where supplies are stored. Looking at the supplies that are half full of the warehouse. Qin Tian sat down in the middle of the warehouse. Tirelessly began to synthesize. The remaining space is not enough for him to extract all the resources in the trading market. So he had to go out and make room. after combining the low-quality wood and low-quality metal pieces of the warehouse Curry. Finally, 2 large spaces have been vacated in Curry's space. But when Qin Tian took out all the materials in the trading market, the entire warehouse was filled to the brim again in an instant. Qin Tian stood outside the warehouse. Look at this full warehouse. Like a squirrel full of pine nuts. Satisfied in my heart, I continued to work. His talent, it is destined to let him go further and further on the road of hoarding supplies. So now the more supplies he has, the happier he is. I don't know how long it took. After nearly half of the full warehouse was dried. Finally, all the required materials have been synthesized. Qin Tian immediately returned to the control room with Tang Dao in his hand. Using divine detective technique to open the ship panel. After choosing advanced with a thought, advanced. May I ask if the captain consumes 4,000 high-quality wood, 5,000 high-quality plastic, 3,000 high-quality nails, and 3,000 high-quality metal sheets to advance the medium-sized gunboat? Yes. Qin Tian suppressed the excitement in his heart. Nod to confirm. Big gunboat. Upgrade large gunships in newborn seas. Then, after entering the severe cold weather, can I have a chance to attack the frigate? Watching the ships under their feet being shrouded in dazzling golden light, Qin Tian looked forward to unscrewing the 6 bottles of water. Start watering the apple trees and cucumber vines. Finished watering. I picked 2 more oranges and ate them. The surrounding golden light finally faded slowly. Look around with a new look. The control room expanded in an instant. Qin Tian couldn't wait to open the panel information of the ship under his feet to check the needs of advanced frigates. Name: large gunboat. Displacement: 135 tons. ER 40.05 times 6.05 times 1.8. Health volume: 9,000. X: 419. Defense: 180. Fire control system: unlockable. Power system: none. Speed: 11 knots. Weapon system: dual 37mm naval guns X2, 12.7 machine guns X2. Radar system: unlockable. Torpedo system: unlockable. Ordinary advancement: low-quality wood 6,000, low-quality plastic 7,000, low-quality nails 4,000, low-quality metal sheet 4,000, can be advanced into a small frigate. Common note: unlocking the fire control system, radar system, and torpedo system can be advanced. Quality advancement: ordinary wood 6,000, ordinary plastic 7,000, ordinary nails 4,000, ordinary metal sheet 3,000 can be advanced into a small frigate. Excellent note: unlocking the fire control system, radar system, and torpedo system can be advanced. Advanced advancement: high-quality wood 6,000, high-quality plastic 7,000, high-quality nails 5,000, high-quality metal sheet 5,000, can be advanced into a small frigate. Extreme note: unlocking the fire control system, radar system, and torpedo system can be advanced. 15%. Chapter 78 Radar System, Fire Control System. When you see the requirements of 6,000 for high-quality wood, 7,000 for high-quality plastic, 5,000 for high-quality nails, and 5,000 for high-quality metal sheets, Qin Tian couldn't help but sighed helplessly. Sure enough, it was an increase of thousands of supplies. And you have to unlock the 3 major ship systems of fire control, radar and torpedo. This is also a small expense. He shook his head. His eyes turned to the line of options on the radar. Directly choose to unlock. Unlocking the radar system requires 1,000 units of low-quality metal, 500 units of low-quality nails, and 2,000 units of low-quality plastic. Will the captain unlock it? Unlock. Hear the inquiry of the will of the planet. Qin Tian was surprised at first. So cheap. Then he just reacted. This is the standard consumption level of World of Warships. Like his kind of material consumption that can cost tens of thousands. It's a monster in World of Warships. Hey, correct. Since everything else can be enhanced with divine detective technique, then, can the radar, fire control and torpedo systems also be enhanced with detective technique? Do whatever comes to mind. Qin Tian gently opened the door of the control room, which had become much stronger. Then quietly followed the shipbuilding to the top where the shipboard radar was installed. I saw that the originally empty top area has now installed a shipboard radar that looks a bit thin. There are 5 radars on the entire shelf that are constantly operating with flashing lights. Watching this scene, Qin Tian sighed. Because even though he unlocked the radar in his last life, he also had this kind of airs. But there are only 2 poor radars on it. It can only detect a poor range of 10 kilometers when it runs. And this life is because of the combat power of the ships. This radar is obviously much more powerful than the one in his previous life. He stood on the stairs and used the skilled detective technique on the shipboard radar. There is also no complex property panel displayed. Just displayed a message. Would you like to spend 1,000 high-quality metal sheets, 1,000 high-quality nails, and 1,000 high-quality plastics to strengthen the shipboard radar? After strengthening, the basic attributes of the current radar level can be increased by 50%. Look at this message. Qin Tian naturally chose to strengthen without even thinking about it. Joke. That is a function that can increase the basic attributes of the current radar level by 50%. It's really a bit against the sky. With a dazzling golden light flashed, Qin Tian saw that the shipboard radar, which was still somewhat thin just now, not only became more sophisticated and expanded a lot. The frame is also thick and strong. The main thing is, originally, there were only 5 radars, and the number suddenly increased to 10. 5 more than before. Not bad, very powerful. Seeing this, Qin Tian nodded in satisfaction. Then turned around and returned to the control room. Now that the radar system has been unlocked and the upgrade is complete. Then there is the fire control system. Unlocking the fire control system requires 1,000 inferior metals, 1,000 inferior nails, and 3,000 inferior plastics. Do you want to unlock it? Look at the materials needed for the fire control system. Even Qin Tian couldn't help feeling a little distressed at this moment. After upgrading the large gunship, there wasn't much left of his metal pieces. Just got off the radar again. It's even worse. It is estimated that there is only enough left to unlock the fire control system. And with the unlocking of the fire control system, the originally pitch black screen on the console instantly lit up. All the indicator lights above are flashing in an orderly manner. Qin Tian looked at the large screen representing the radar detection. On the screen marked with a range of 110 kilometers, there are only 3 sporadic red dots flickering near the edge. Qin Tian knows. These red dots are the ships of the other chosen ones. Look at the kilometers displayed next to it. The closest ones to him are 90 kilometers away. That is more than 40 nautical miles. This range measurement is already extremely powerful in the gunboat class. After looking at the radar, he turned his gaze to the shooting control device on the other side. The 2 dual 37mm naval guns are also equipped with a semi-automatic operation mode while being manually operated. When he didn't want to sit on the gun mount and experience the blow of firing the gun. You can come here to control the system. Let the 2 double 37 naval guns show off together. Qin Tian used divine detective technique to see the strengthening needs of the fire control system. Would you like to consume 2,000 high-quality metal sheets, 2,000 high-quality nails, and 3,000 high-quality plastics to strengthen the fire control system? After strengthening, the basic attributes of the current fire control level can be increased by 50%. Hiss. Really? He glanced at the material data in his backpack. Qin Tian silently turned off the divine detective technique. Although the effect of increasing the basic attributes by 50% is very attractive. But he was short of cash. It seems that they can only hunt more piranhas at night. After a wave of recovery, the fire control system will be strengthened. He now only has more than 2,300 low-quality metal pieces left in curry. Not strong enough at all. Shook his head. A little sleepy, Qin Tian glanced at the radar screen. Then he opened the plain map of divine detective technique and took a look. After making sure there is no danger, he lay down on the center console and fell into a deep sleep. These few days have made the polar night climate so frustrating. His biological clock started to go upside down. No way. Who told him to go out and act only at night when there is a moon? Like the daytime, you can't see your fingers, and you can't see the situation beyond 10 meters. It is really not suitable for outdoor activities. So when people from the outside started streaming into Qin Tian's live broadcast room at 8 o'clock, all he saw was the scene of Qin Tian lying on the center console and falling asleep. This made many people feel helpless. The extreme night climate really affects their viewing performance. At 8 o'clock they should come in and watch the live broadcast. As a result, most of the chosen ones in the live broadcast room were sleeping. What else is there to see? After seeing this scene, many people immediately left the live broadcast room to watch the live broadcast of those veteran gods chosen. Those who are careful can see the difference between the control Goodlihao control room and the center console at a glance. I'm knocking. God Chin has upgraded the battleship again. Oh my god, did you notice it too? I thought it was my illusion at first. Boast. Not only has the battleship been upgraded, but the fire control and radar systems have also been unlocked. I saw a radar scanning screen on the central control. Don't worry about it now. As far as Qin Shen's upgrade speed is concerned, I can't imagine any newcomer gods chosen can surpass it in the future. Yes, this is truly unprecedented. Maybe at the end of the novice period, God Qin can upgrade the gunboat to a frigate. Fake. How did this Yanlong man do it? Could it be that our chosen ones are all fools? Just let this Yanlong man grow up like this. Some foreign devils raised angry questions. Hee, there is no way. One step at a time, one step at a time. I wish Carl could lead someone to appear in front of God Qin right now. Many Yanlong people couldn't help laughing after seeing this message. 16%. Chapter 79 Strengthen Fire Control. Foreign devils are afraid. Based on Qin Tian's current level of development. Not to mention that Carl's fleet is now dismantled, leaving only less than 100 fishing boats and rafts. Even if it is doubled in size before. Facing the current Qin Tian, he could only be hanged and beaten. Residents of a residential building in Zhongzhou military base. Mu Ningxie looked at the bedboard and bedside table that she and Qin Xiaoxiao had crushed immediately. Both of them couldn't help but looked at each other and smiled. Needless to say, they also know. Qin Tian upgraded the battleship again last night. What else can they say? I can only secretly say that my husband, father, is amazing. World of Warships. The bright moon rises. Have slept most of the day. Qin Tian, who had recovered enough energy and made enough preparations, went downstairs to continue chopping man-eating flying fish with a tang saber in hand. He has almost exhausted metal sheet resources. He urgently needs those flying fish ingredients to give him a wave of blood. Hang Kai chopped all night. When the moon in the sky disappears. In Qin Tian's control room, he had already stored 50 headless flying fish ingredients. No time wasted. He spread a flying fish on top of the grill and lifted the stove lid below. Immediately, the real barbecue master Qin Tian was launched. 20 units of high-quality flying fish meat. Each unit can be exchanged for 70 units of inferior metal. When he cut the grilled flying fish into 20 pieces like yesterday, he put them on the shelf. It's just a blink of an eye. 20 pieces of grilled fish were snapped up and sold out. The countless waiting gods chosen in the chat channel almost didn't cry. Woo, I didn't get it. God Qin, you've finally started selling. I've been waiting for all my supplies and I'm so hungry and thirsty. Qin Tian, let's start quickly, but I'm starving to death. After eating your grilled fish, I feel that my mind is full of your grilled fish today. Damn, Qin Jun, please start selling as soon as possible, I can't wait. Zhou Hongshan at Ju Yifu. Little devil, I remember you. Didn't you still feel ashamed of those who admired me Qin Shen yesterday? How did it change today? Hee, in the face of hunger and death, do you think he can still be tough? That's what the little devil is. If you don't give him some strength, he just doesn't know what his last name is. However, there is one thing to say, Qin Shen's grilled fish is really delicious. I seriously suspect that Qin Shen has opened a seasoning gift package, otherwise how could there be a sweet smell on the grilled fish? He glanced lightly at the contents of the chat channel. Qin Tian ignored them. Get on with your work. When all 50 flying fish are roasted and sold out, Qin Tian immediately went to the warehouse below the deck to bring out all the supplies in the backstage of the trading market like yesterday. After upgrading to a large gunship, the warehouse has also expanded a bit. It saves me from the troubles like yesterday. Qin Tian sold 20 flying fish this time for 48,000 units of low-quality plastic. 30 flying fish were sold for 42,000 pieces of inferior metal. Looking at the number of metal sheet units in the backpack that rose to 5 figures again. Qin Tian suddenly felt confident in his heart. Like the old folks say. Don't panic if you have food in your hand. Because grilling fish took a lot of time today. So when the live room opens, just in time for Qin Tian to go down to the warehouse, ready to go out to pick up the background materials of the trading market. When I saw that the warehouse that was more than half empty was instantly filled with 2 kinds of materials, plastic and metal sheets. The eyeballs of everyone in the live broadcast room suddenly widened. It almost fell to the ground. What the hell? How did this Yanlong man conjure up so much material all of a sudden? Could it be that he has the ability to transform a living person? Hey, I didn't watch God Qin's live broadcast when I saw the alien ghosts. Qin has been hunting flying fish for sale for 2 days. This must be the harvest of the night. What? Kill flying fish. With so many supplies, how many flying fish do we have to kill? Then I don't know about this, but I watched a few chosen ones from the Beacon Empire chatting yesterday, and there seemed to be more than 30 flying fish. Hiss, more than 30 flying fish sell so many supplies. Then how much does Qin Tian sell for each one? Damn it, bastard profiteer, everyone is in such a difficult situation, this Qin Tian is actually giving out disaster money. That's right, I don't even know why this kind of person lives in this world, he is simply selfish to the extreme. And he, BBFG, still doesn't know how to share. You can see that so many chosen ones in the Yanlong Empire have starved to death, but this Qin Tian has no intention of supporting him at all, he is really cold-blooded. Speak to these Gentile devils who are starting to drive the wind. Countless Yanlong people are not used to them either. He just opened his mouth and yelled back. Yo yo yo, when did you foreign devils become so kind? Yeah, what are you talking about selfishness? After watching the Time-Space live broadcast for 3 years, I found that those who die the fastest are often those who are selfless. And speaking of being cold-blooded and ruthless, in every issue of Novice Sea Area in the past, it is not uncommon to see your God's chosen ones who are desperate to save them. Hey, it's nothing, I'm just jealous of our God Qin, and seeing how God Qin develops so fast, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that God Qin will ask them to settle with them country by country after he grows up, so I'm anxious. Hee, it's useless to be anxious. Judging by God Qin's momentum, it's already a certainty that he will grow up. At that time, if he really wants to upgrade his battleship to a frigate in the Novice Sea Area, then the cruiser that encounters these foreign devils after going out will probably be able to do so. Fight against one or two, be afraid of them being a bird. After being bombarded indiscriminately, he replied. Countless foreign devils looked so ugly that they didn't know what to say. Although very unwilling, but I have to admit, they were really a little scared. Qin Tian's growth momentum is really too fast. In 3 weeks in the Novice Sea territory, he achieved what many ordinary God-chosen had achieved in World of Warships for 3 years. If this evildoer had grown up in World of Warships for a year. No, it doesn't take a year at all. In just half a year, I'm afraid they will be able to enter the first combat echelon of those veteran gods chosen. Qin Tian is naturally unaware of the turmoil in the outside world. At this time, he started to synthesize materials after filling the warehouse. It feels almost synthesized. He returned to the control room. As soon as he moved his mind, he used the detective technique to activate the enhanced information of the fire control system. Would you like to consume 2,000 high-quality metal sheets, 2,000 high-quality nails, and 3,000 high-quality plastics to strengthen the fire control system? After strengthening, the basic attributes of the current fire control level can be increased by 50%. Strengthen. This time Qin Tian directly chose to agree. Then with the golden light flashing on the center console, Qin Tian immediately looked intently. I saw that the style of the entire center console suddenly became more sci-fi. His eyes scanned the radar detection screen. Although he still can't scan the information of wooden barrels, treasure chests, and sea beasts like his divine detective technique. But at least it is no longer a simple red dot for those ships. Instead, they can accurately see the images of rafts and fishing boats. As for the fire control system, I can't see anything even if I haven't used it. But if you think about it, you can guess. It must have optimized the accuracy and timing of positioning, aiming and launching functions. 1. 16%. Chapter 80 Strengthen the torpedo. The Novice Sea Area mission begins. It has radar and fire control system. Naturally, the torpedo system cannot favor one over another. So Qin Tian opened the battleship panel. He fixed his gaze on torpedo system. Unlocking the torpedo system needs to consume 2,000 low-quality metal, 1,000 low-quality nails, and 2,000 low-quality plastic. Will the captain unlock it? Qin Tian chose to unlock directly. Get out of the control room. He poked his head toward the rear of the battleship. As a result, nothing can be seen in the black hole. Never mind. Let's wait until night to strengthen the torpedo. I can finally harvest another wave of leaks tonight. Wait until tomorrow daytime. These ancient man-eating flying fish should disappear without a trace. Qin Tian has already made up his mind. Time to sell a batch. I also cut into pieces and put them in the freezer to stock up on a batch. Anyway, the strength of his current battleship is enough in the Novice Sea Area. Stock up on some of this kind of fish and eat it yourself. After all, in his last life, He heard some people say that eating more of this kind of fish can effectively improve his physical fitness. He felt he had nothing to lose by trying, seeing that the things that should be dealt with have been dealt with almost. Finally, check whether the heading is consistent with the arrow of the guide mark. Qin Tian immediately ate something, lay down on the center console and fell asleep unknowingly. Night. Qin Tian, who has taken care of his spirit, is the same as yesterday. Go down and hunt flying fish at first moonrise. Maybe it's because he has become more proficient in business. He killed 55 flying fish that night. In the morning when the 27th flying fish was just roasted. Suddenly, someone in the chat channel started to post surprises. Flying fish back. Flying fish disappears. Information of this kind. Qin Tian walked out of the control room after seeing it. Sure enough, none of the piranhas that jumped onto the deck from time to time were gone. The sound of those flying fish flying through the air no longer came from the sea. After 3 days of raging man-eating flying fish. With their departure, the entire novice sea area has also regained its former tranquility. Woo. That's great. I'm going to die of thirst if I don't retreat. Wow, my water is still there. I'm Zhang Mingfei. Shredded coconut. Shredded coconut. I didn't expect that I survived. The chat channel is full of tears of joy for the rest of their lives. After Qin Tian confirmed that the piranhas really retreated, he immediately returned to the control room, cut the remaining 28 flying fish into small pieces with a tang knife. Then a wooden basket was made out of the wood. Put all the cut pieces of flying fish in wooden baskets. After hugging him, he went down below the deck, in the rest cabin he chose for himself. Open the refrigerator. Stack those flying fish pieces neatly into the frozen side. Get this done. He then returned to the control room. Cut the grilled flying fish into small pieces with a knife. I ate it mouthful by myself. Now that the flying fish disaster is over, those who survived would naturally not buy his flying fish at a high price. So this fish can only be solved by Qin Tian himself. However, the 26 flying fish sold in the morning can be regarded as a considerable income. Among them, he sold 20 flying fish for 48,000 yuan of low-quality wood. The other 6 he sold 8,400 units of low-quality metal sheets. After eating and drinking, he came to the center console. His gaze stayed on the nautical mile number next to the green guide arrow. 103.338. About 9 more hours of sailing. He is about to reach the mission destination issued by the will of the planet. Alien pirates. I don't know what kind of alien it is. Naga Sea Clan. Or those aliens from other planets? Shook his head. Qin Tian immediately got off the boat building. Walked to the torpedo launch area behind the battleship. Since the war is about to start, then he naturally wants to increase the combat effectiveness of the battleship to the maximum. Come to the torpedo launch area. Looked carefully. Qin Tian discovered that it was a twin 450mm torpedo launcher. Duplex 450mm. To be honest, it's okay. In his last life, his gunboat was a large one. After unlocking the torpedo system, it is only a dual 324mm light torpedo launcher. But since this life can be strengthened, then he naturally chose to become stronger. Use detective technique to activate the enhanced information of this torpedo launch area. Would you like to consume 1,000 high-quality metal sheets, 1,000 high-quality nails, and 2,000 high-quality plastics to strengthen the torpedo system? After strengthening, the basic combat power of the current torpedo system can be increased by 50%. Qin Tian nodded and chose, yes. Dissipated with a burst of golden light. I saw that the original torpedo launcher with only double installations immediately became a triple installation of 533mm torpedo launchers. Ask for flowers. After Qin Tian saw this scene, he couldn't help giving divine detective technique a thumbs up. The twin 324mm torpedo installations became triple 533mm torpedo installations. It seems that it has really increased the strength of the torpedo device by 50%. Nothing wrong. Seeing that his battleship is about to usher in the first real sea battle with hot weapons, Qin Tian didn't dare to push her too hard. Influenced by the polar night climate, it is naturally impossible for him to control the naval gun by himself. Although the fire control system can automate the positioning, aiming and firing of naval guns. But you can't make your own cannonballs. No way. Although the semi-data rule of World of Warships has made many things much easier, but in some things still maintain the most basic principles. If it is Qin Tian who controls the naval guns to fight, Then he can directly consume metal pieces to reload the naval guns for battle. Although this saves resources, the disadvantages are also obvious. That is a waste of the combat power of another artillery. And use the fire control system to automatically control. Then he has to replenish the full amount of shells in the automatic loaders of all naval guns. In this way, there will be no embarrassment that there will be no ammunition available in the middle of the battle. Go down to the ammo bay. Locate the autoloaders for the two twin 37mm naval guns. Double 37mm naval gun autoloader. For every 300 units of low-quality metal pieces consumed, a full 300 naval gun shells can be configured. Without further ado, Qin Tian directly consumed 600 low-quality metal pieces to fill up the two autoloaders. Because it is the quality-less autoloader that comes with unlocking the naval gun. So only so much can be loaded. If you open a high-quality autoloader in the treasure chest, the ammunition capacity will be greatly increased. After all this is ready, Qin Tian returned to the control room. A pair of deep eyes stared at the dark sea outside through the front window glass, lost in thought. The battleship braved the wind and waves all the way, overcoming obstacles. After sailing for almost 9 hours, Qin Tian finally saw the icons of 6 ships on the radar. Among them is a large gunboat, a medium gunboat, and the remaining 4 are all small gunboats that are much smaller. Presumably this is what the planet will call those alien pirates. When Qin Tian sailed forward for more than 10 nautical miles, the other party obviously also found him 9. The other party